Welcome back to A Corporate Time. Let's do some weird job.
Tom wanted to do a bit. He called it Weird Job Wednesday. Dad really likes it. Tom says that's bullshit. It's another Weird Job Wednesday. What are you doing? What is your job? Are you neat? Are you tidy? Or are you a fat slob? Do you make lots of money and you sit up in your tower looking down on all the people who are working by the hour? It's a Weird Job Wednesday. Just another Weird Job Wednesday. Oh yes, it's Weird Job Wednesday. Just another Weird Job Wednesday. Thank you, Tom. Thank you.
Weird Job Wednesday brought to you by Streamline Florida. If you're looking for a mortgage or a refi, use Streamline. Brian Zymel and his team will help you out.
You talked to Brian recently?
I have.
I miss that guy.
Yep. He is opening up his Streamline branch in California.
Yes.
So I believe that just started this year.
Streamline vegan.
Yeah. So if you're in Florida or California now,
Yeah, make it happen.
use Streamline. So we had another weird job cancel last
I think
minute.
we had like two of them, right?
Yeah.
It appears that everybody seems to be coming down with the flu.
Some kind of illness.
Yeah, there's some kind of the flu. It's out there, buddy.
So, and by the way, if you have a weird job, listen, any job's weird. I mean, if you start analyzing it,
Just
job.
email me about your job.
Yeah,
We'll get you on.
Yeah, any job is weird if we really dial into it.
We'll make it weird.
Yeah, we'll make it weird.
So Sam at tomandan.com. But Joey Mazant is here for
So
his.
we're double dipping.
Yeah,
All
now
right.
he's here for his Parks and Parlays segment.
Yeah.
Next
A
segment.
little bit of goofy, a little bit of gambling.
But when he got here, I was like, Joey, you ever had a weird job? And of course he has.
Of course he has.
And Joey worked as a toll booth operator, which is weird because
Seems like a dream.
I think
I've never seen a guy like Joey though work as a toll.
What does that mean?
It's always an old lady, right?
Old man,
old
old
man.
lady.
It's an old person job.
It's a weird. Okay, hold on a second. There's a weird stereotype for toll booth operator, which happens to be some sort of. I'm trying to be like friendly here and like respectful. It's like a hybrid man-woman old lady man.
You know,
Like a pet from
yeah.
Saturday Night
Yeah,
Live.
kind
it's
of,
a
but
pet.
it's like a half old lady, half old man, white hair.
Androgynous old person.
Like
Yeah,
doughy, medium breast, could be old grandpa, could be old grandma. Don't know.
Yeah.
White pants, flowery, fun Florida type of Hawaiian shirt.
It's like a
white
Walmart,
hair.
It's like Walmart greeter. It's like a job.
Normally an old man, though.
It's easy enough for an old person because it's not strenuous. So it's jobs for old people, and that's what it should be, right? Because old people sometimes need jobs, after retirement age
But I've
or whatever.
never
and, like,
understood
toll
the
booth.
greeter. He's kind of like a speed bump for shoplifters, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like just a last line of
And they
defense.
check your receipt on the way out.
Yeah. But that's really, there's no point to that other than to sort of slow traffic.
Correct.
At the door is what I'm
And
thinking.
maybe you're paying him $8 an hour, so you're thinking,
$8? No way.
Oh, no, well, less than that?
Yeah.
Okay, less than
Minimum
$8.
wage for
See, I
sure.
feel bad. I was
Yeah.
going to say more.
I thought minimum wage is around $8 now, right?
It's like, have they moved it up finally?
I don't
I
know
think
what
they
minimum
have.
wage is. I'm rich. Why would I know that?
I know what maximum wage is.
Look at my wife. Come on.
Right now it's 10. It looks like.
Oh, $10.
Wow, $10 to greet people? $10.
Two-figure salary.
Still
It
do
just
it.
got raised September
Do you
30th.
get $10 every time you greet a person? 'Cause you could make a lot of money. I'll
still-
greet 5 people. I got a True Leave card.
That's still very little money.
Yeah.
$10 for 1 hour?
Yep.
Anyway, so
But you get to be in Walmart.
they're probably just
Ugh.
thinking, for the $10 an hour I'm paying this person, maybe one shoplifter that was going to steal $50 doesn't do it, and then it justifies
What
it.
do they say? Like, hey, that grandpa's looking at you.
Because they're
Don't
checking.
do it, dude.
Like, what if he asked me? So Joey, tell us about being a toll booth operator.
Quick question: how did you apply to get this job?
Ooh, I
Thank
hope you had
you.
to drive your car up there through and apply in the
No,
toll
no.
booth.
Sam is the queen of the lead-in because you don't apply. The only
Just
way.
show up.
No. God bless
They
you.
just pick you out of a crowd. They're like, you.
Hey,
So-
you want to sit in a booth?
No, here's the thing. Do you know why you want to be a toll booth? It's just like being a teacher in Florida. You don't do it for the love of the job. You do it for the benefits.
Okay.
As
what
a
is it,
government
like
em-
union or a
Yes,
government?
I was in the
Free
Teamsters
tolls,
Union.
you idiot.
You get free tolls?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Let's do this.
Hold on, I
Wait a
wanna-
minute. I'm getting a part-time
Free
job.
tolls.
Well,
I can
wait.
be on the 407. Look, I'm on the 407. I'm on the 408. I'm on the 419.
Just listen to
418.
podcasts all day?
417. Give me
Hell
all
yeah.
the teens. Wait, not that
Is this
part.
New Jersey?
No, no.
Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay.
The other S-hole.
Oh.
So I can say that, right? That's safe.
Yeah, that's
You
fine.
can use the letter.
Fine.
So what happened is it's a government job. It was sweet, dude. I was in the Teamsters Union. You got paid. My gosh, it was 2001. I was making like $16 an hour. My friends were making $4 an hour as minimum wage. I bought my first house when I was 18 years old. It was amazing.
From
Hold on,
toll
be-
booth?
Yeah, well, I had a night job too, but well, that's another
just-
Whoa,
You're a
so
hustler,
how'd you
yeah.
get the job? If this is so good, I would imagine there's a lot of
That's
people
what
that
I'm
want
saying.
Yeah,
it.
and old
There
people.
are. Well, the problem is it's such a good job, but you have to know somebody. If you don't think the mafia exists, you haven't been to southwestern Pennsylvania.
All right.
I
Joey's
only got
got
in-
connections.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
I had a very high-ranking political official who was buddies with my dad, who was like, "Hey, your boy want a job?" And he's like, "Yeah, why?" He's like, "I got an in. Do you want him?" He's like, "All right." He goes, "Joe, you want to collect tolls?" I was like, "F no, I don't want to collect tolls. It's boring as hell." And he goes, "Here's what you'll make." And I was like, "Oh, for real? Like for real? For real?"
So literally, it was like a favor
It's
that,
who you know.
that your old
Damn it.
man's friend gave
My-
us. Yeah, like
my
get your
dad-
son a toll job.
That's
It's
awesome.
16
My-
bucks an
yeah.
hour, and the union benefits. And like
My dad got somebody very important elected to a very important political thing, and he owed my dad a favor.
Don't the
That person,
the
Barack
mafia.
Obama. That person was Barack Obama.
The mafia loves unions, right? Like
They
they
do.
get in there, and there's some sort of.
I met Jimmy Hoffa's son, Jimmy Hoffa Jr. at the Teamsters rally.
What? Oh my God!
Yeah.
You're the best toll booth operator I've ever seen.
Aren't you young? And I'm
So
like, yeah.
once
Awfully young to be a toll man.
so the operator, you're just in charge of collecting tolls.
What do you
but-
have in there? You got a gun? You got a bat?
yeah, what is there?
I wanted to tell you this story forever ago. Again, it's so you sit in the booth, and
Are you
there's-
protected in any way? Like if
No.
if an 18-wheeler is careening down the road
Well, there's concrete.
You're
and they hit your booth, you're
Nah,
goner,
you're
right?
screwed,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if I want to sit out there in the middle of the road.
That rarely happens though.
Yeah,
I've
that's
never
very rare.
seen.
it happened to a friend of mine.
Whoa,
Not that
really?
rare. Not that
Careful
rare.
what you say
Well,
around the
thanks for-
toll
My buddy
booth
Jake-
operator.
yeah,
Thanks
Jake-
for asking
Yeah.
on my point.
Well, that's like being.
I'm sorry, Tom. I mean, it never
Tom
happened.
is so stupid. He's like being in a room of train conductors, and like these things never break down. And like, oh my
Tom always
friend,
says nothing ever happens.
Well, do you guys? I mean, how often do you guys see an 18-wheeler crash into a toll
every
booth?
day.
Once. It only took one.
Yeah.
It only
So
took
it
one.
happened, and they,
Yeah, he was hospitalized for about a month and a half. The
man.
guy was I don't want to. I assume glug glug, but he was and smack, and the whole thing exploded. It was fire, and they got him.
Fire.
Yeah.
and he lived through that. Like it went
Fire.
through the
guy
booth?
had
Yeah.
the guy was
So you'll be
frying
fine.
chicken nuggets in there.
Oh, my God.
But you got the toll booth. Your office is 4 times bigger than any toll booth I've ever seen in my life.
How
Just
big
this
is it?
room. It's like a 4-foot by 6-foot block.
And what can you bring in there? Like
Basically, I used to, when I worked you get shifts and you bid for different shifts. And one time I had to work the shift. It was miserable, 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. And it was so slow on this road that they move. There's only 2 people working. It's you and one other guy. And you take the people going north, he takes the people going south. And this dude, he was so cool. He was this big ginger Viking dude. And I won't say his name because I don't even know if he still does it. He would bring a bottle of Jack Daniels into the booth with him, and I would bring a DVD player. And we would watch reruns of Family Guy Season 1. It was 2001. And he's like, "Hey, I'm going to go in and sleep for about 3 hours. We good?" I'm like, "Yes, sir." He would go in at 2 a.m. when everybody was done, and he would sleep for 3 hours and come back out at 5 and go, "All right, young man, you go and go crash for 2 hours. I'll see you at 7. And I would go in and I'd sleep until 7 a.m. and then he'd come get me so I wouldn't get in trouble. And we would only work half a shift each and take both sides because it was so slow. And he would just drink Jack Daniels and burp violently all night long.
that's pretty cool.
So
And I'll add a little Family Guy on there, a little giggity giggity.
That's what it was, dude. You just watch DVDs and drink. It was awesome.
Not bad.
there was a period of time, and this is right around 2001, was when I was living in Orlando and at my poorest, and there I got my license suspended twice from lack of paying or from running
the
too many
tolls.
tolls,
Yeah.
and then it would eventually they send you letters and then eventually suspend your
Can I
license.
ask you a question about running tolls? Not to make this any longer, but do you actively choose to run the toll, or is it what I really think it is, which is you're just driving and you're like, I gotta go this way, it's faster.
He probably just didn't have the money.
No,
on
yeah,
him.
I didn't have any change,
But why not just go a way that wasn't tolled?
Well, I wasn't prepared. This is have to do with bad
It's
life.
there's a toll here. Forgot
a lot
it.
of
Forgot
people-
about it.
Even with me, I can remember being in my Mitsubishi Eclipse. I had the lowest level, which was an RS, roll down windows. I would avoid tolls. I know that sounds like a poor person thing to do, but I would be
I've
like,
done that
I
most of my
can't go
life.
that way, and I'd go
Well,
the
that's-
long way.
That's
Yeah.
called being responsible because
Well, no,
which I was not.
I didn't want
He
to
was-
run it.
he
You're
was
like,
poor
I knew,
and irresponsible.
Like,
Yeah.
I knew I'd cause a bigger problem. But continue. Yeah.
And the thing about being bad at life, and a lot of people relate to this, is I don't pre-plan anything, and then I also.
But I mean, you could get to the toll, see it, and go like, can't do it, and turn. Is my point? Is
I don't think so. I don't think there's an exit that close to the toll booth.
No,
Yeah.
I mean, like,
and then even if you go off
no,
the
like
exit, there's
even
a
if
toll.
he's going that way, you see it coming up. Is my point? Like,
Well,
you
once
don't have to choose that direction.
Well, as soon as you get on a toll road, even if you exit, you have to pay a
You have to
toll.
pay to
like,
get on.
there's no,
Correct.
so you're screwed. And then back to being bad at life. So you never learn your lesson. So this happens over and over. And then also being bad at life. Once you run the toll, you were like, oh, God, I did it again. I told myself I would do it. And then you immediately forget.
Yeah, you're right.
because you block it out because you're an idiot and you're bad at life. I'm just telling you what it is. So then.
Well, why dwell on it? It's a negative thing.
Yeah,
They tell
and
you
then-
not to dwell on the negative.
And then your license gets suspended, and this all why is this happening? And then my buddy Andy told me about the score. Like I almost killed the Grizz in a toll booth
I
one
love
time.
that we got Joey here, doubled down, got 10 minutes, and now we're just talking about Tom's
Sorry,
stories about
sorry,
running
sorry.
Well, Tom also said
I'm talking
that-
about
We don't know.
tolls.
Now I don't know anything about being a toll
He's
booth operator.
confusing me too because he also said nobody gets killed at toll booth, and he just said I almost killed my friend Grizz at the toll booth. He said
Listen,
this
he's a
doesn't.
hypocrite.
He
It's
said
fine.
nobody gets killed at toll booth, and I almost killed my friend Grizz in a toll booth.
It's Toll Talk with Tom.
It's just my buddy said you look for the score. When you pull up to where you throw your change in, open your door
Right.
and look on the floor. There's constantly quarters, so you can pick them up and then
Open your door, look on the floor, look for the score.
And then the Grizz, we would both do it. And then when the Grizz was looking, he saw a quarter, but it was underneath my truck.
Yes.
And then he crawled underneath there. I didn't notice.
If you're poor, open your door, look on the floor,
And then
go for the score.
I found one, and then I went to drive, and the Grizz was underneath where I would have ran over his head. He screamed,
For a
and I
quarter.
stopped.
For
Yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
quarter.
Almost killed him.
For a quarter.
Anyway, so
that would
We're
happen
way
a lot.
over,
Where,
Tom.
Yeah, we
because
are.
Oh, sorry.
Take a break.
Sorry.
Yeah, we got to take a break.
Understood.
So was it?
We can come back and then continue.
Well, we can finish with this. Was it a fantastic job, or where would you rate it, 1 to 10?
Pay scale
Yeah.
for being an 18-year-old kid making more money than your buddies that dropped out of college or even graduated from. 9.5.
Yeah.
Not
Not manual labor.
As far as sanity goes, I would rather jump off of the bridge where my toll booth was than go back to that job
Right.
ever again. It was
Yeah.
miserable. I have way too much energy to sit still for more than about 30 seconds.
We got to go to break. We learned a little bit about that when we were all quarantined. We know that when you're sitting alone, even with DVDs or unlimited streaming TV, it sucks.
Yeah.
I don't know why it sucks. It shouldn't, but it does.
It does. You're right.
It's because you can't leave, just like a toll booth. It's like it's not. If it's not the fact that you're just sitting there. It's the fact that you can't leave. Same
Yeah.
thing with COVID. I can't go anywhere.
Well,
I'm
think
locked in.
Office Space. You're stuck in that cubicle and
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
like, this is my prison for the next 8 hours.
Yep.
All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back with more corporate time.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time.
Yep. So back to tolls for 1 second.
Can't let it
there's-
go.
Well, I bet Daniel doesn't know
old
about this.
people become obsessed with tolls. My dad was obsessed with
Well,
tolls.
that and he didn't get to get his stories out, so he wants
No,
to
well, no.
continue.
I just want to
Wait a
talk
minute.
about the little
Do
known.
you feel like Joey's stories are better than your stories?
No.
Do you feel in some
I
way
don't-
that maybe
This- I'm-
Joey is a better storyteller than you?
No, I'm
No.
gonna talk to
No.
Joey about.
you need to tell him his
the-
experiences with toll booths.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
He's one of those people that has to make it all about him.
Oh my God, Joey.
He doesn't like hugging.
Dude,
He didn't even know what to do. His arm was like this.
Joey, that was the
He
greatest.
hovered.
I don't want you to hug me.
Melissa, I'm putting out Melissa, the video
she's in
editor.
there, yeah.
Come on.
Snag that. Let's make something fun out of that.
Awkward hug.
For those of you that aren't on Twitch right now
Holy
watching us,
smokes.
twitch.tv/TomandDanLive. Live. You can watch all of these video replays. We are Orlando's strongest stream. We put these on YouTube. Just search Tom and Dan Live. Joey got up and hugged Tom. And it was one of the single greatest Wednesdays gifts I've ever been given because you do not know how to hug people.
No, I know how to hug.
I don't think
just
you
know
do.
it's awkward.
And you know what? I don't think I've seen him. I don't think I've ever seen him hug his sons. I've seen them hug him. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying?
No, I hug my sons
I don't
every
know
day.
if you know how to physically touch another
Yeah,
human.
no, of course I do. Well, my son, I don't want to hug Joey.
He loves you, bro.
No, when he walked over here, no, I
thought he was gonna fight you?
What, you think
I'll
he's gonna
hug
punch
Joey.
you in the face?
No, I'll hug Joey.
That
if he
would've been
needs
funny.
to be
Joey is
hugged.
so sweet. He
doesn't
brought us
need
a
to be
gift when he
hugged.
walked in. He's a sweet man. He's a lovely man. He
No.
walks in. He walked over and he opened his arms. What'd you think he was gonna do?
No,
He's gonna what? Let's grapple, bro.
no,
Jiu-jitsu.
he's just mimicking human emotions. Inside, he's a computer. I know.
Oh, so you're saying that?
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I,
You're told both stories, sir.
No, I just want to talk to Joey about the little note. Like, people don't know this, but if you go up to a toll booth and you don't have money, you could ask for a voucher that you could mail in and pay later, right?
God.
And
They
it's,
love that.
And it's the only recourse when you don't have money because you can't pay with a credit card or whatever because they don't take that, right? So I've done this multiple times because I got my license. I never had any money. So I remember, but it's embarrassing because it holds up the line behind
does,
you
yeah.
because the lady has to fill out a form and then get your ID. And then
Sometimes they got to get out and walk behind and write your license
Yes,
plate down.
yes.
Like, oh my God.
That is old school.
I've done this.
Yes.
I've done this.
Dude,
You and I are both. I
Well,
mean,
because
I'm
you're-
also an S bag. It's just I did
But
it.
you're following the rules because that's what you do if you have no money. You're in a situation.
Tom did this voluntarily. Like, he did it knowing what was happening. I got up there and then it started unfolding, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm trapped. I'm trapped in being a bad human, and I just had to sit there and take it.
Yeah. Now, normally I just say, screw it. I'll take because it's so awkward. People are honking and
Yeah, they
mad.
get mad.
They're like, get out of here.
I have been this person.
So I want to talk.
They will yell "F you!" Like I
yeah.
remember sitting
They're
there.
like, just run it.
Yeah,
You idiot.
They will scream at you.
Yeah. But I'm like, my license is suspended from this. You can't. Anyway, so how many times have you dealt with this, Joey?
Too many to count, bro.
Okay.
It was so bad. And it was usually the truckers because the truckers would come rolling through and they were expensive. It's class 1 through 7. 1 is 50 cents, but 7 would be like $8 because of how heavy the car was.
And it's the company's truck, so they couldn't run it, because,
Yes.
it would come back to their driving record or whatever.
So they would tell me, it's like, hey, here's the company credit card. And I'm like, oh, we don't accept that. And he goes, well, it's not fair that I have to pay money because my company should be paying for it. And I was like, well, then why isn't your company paying for it? I don't know. And I was like, me either. Glad we had this meeting. That'll be $8.70. And it's like, these guys were, and I'm tiny, and these dudes are like big old trucker. I'll get out of this truck. I'm like, oh, come on, man. I'm just here working, bro.
Has that happened? That's happened, right? Like where a guy's like saying, you got to pay the toll. And the guy's like, well, I'm just going to get out of this truck. I'm going to beat your ass.
Exactly.
For
Really
no
crazy
purpose.
people, yeah.
For no dumb purpose.
It just got to the point where, like, for the cars, like, I don't even got 50 cents. Like, look, dude, just go. Like, here's the deal. I'm
Do
gonna
you
write
have that power as a toll booth operator?
You do.
So
You
can
do.
you just open the roads? I am the operator now. Open free roads.
This has happened to me where I'm like, I don't have the money. I need to fill out the card, and the lady would just be like, just go, because they didn't want to
Yes.
hassle with it.
Because
and
it
they'll
costs
just
you
let
53
you go.
cents to mail in a thing for 47
Yeah,
cents.
yeah, yeah.
I've never had that.
It's like, come on,
because
dude.
you look so young and cute.
I know, and they're lazy and don't want to go through the process. So
And I
I'm
always get the Andrea, like my wife, who's like, all right, hold on, I gotta take a picture of your license plate.
by the rules.
Fill this
yeah.
out. All right, sign here.
Yeah.
All right, let me take a picture of you. Let me make a note. I'm gonna put a post-it up here for the next person, so they make sure to really F you good.
All right, let's do Joey's bit. Now, Joey, you sent...
Moved past toll roads.
Hey, yeah. Well, I'm done with it.
It's
Yeah.
all
We're done
good,
with
bro.
tolls.
All right.
I'm just happy to
Write
party
it
with
down that we're done with tolls for 2022.
No more tolls.
No more tolls.
2022.
2022
Oh, they've already
tolls.
clipped the awkward hug, by the way. And
Yeah.
it's
you.
magnificent.
Oh, can we make an NFT out of that? Could you sell that?
Yes, the
No.
awkward hug NFT.
The awkward hug NFT, dude.
Can somebody make it again?
Today, tomorrow, and forever, awkward hug NFT.
So, Joey, you sent, speaking of awkward, you sent an email.
Good segue. Ouch.
of,
You cut so deep it hurts.
I'm the good one.
He's here to help us with content.
I know, man.
He's clapping all
He
over.
did this for free. Like, I didn't ask him to write a theme song. He just happened to send us a theme song, and you're already crapping on it? I haven't even heard it?
No, I'm not. I'm not crapping on it. I heard a small snippet when Samantha got the email, and then I knew what it was, and then I froze because I was awkward.
It's okay. Tom, you're beautiful, and it's all right.
Yeah.
The cute ones can say whatever they want, and they just bully the nerds like me. Let's let it do it.
I'm not
Let it
bullying
happen.
anybody.
Oh, my God.
I'm not bullying anybody. All I'm saying is that when you make your own intro, it's a little awkward, right?
I make my own intros all the time.
Yeah,
I couldn't afford Dan Stone. I tried, trust me.
Yeah, but
You made your own. This is Junkies, 1 minute of comedy.
That's true.
You made that.
Yeah, but
I didn't make that. If I'd have made that, it wouldn't have had feedback at the end.
But-
I don't know if
No,
people
no, no,
remember
no,
that.
no.
That was an actual mistake
No,
that I
I-
hated. I had to grow to love that.
Yeah, but I didn't make. I was kind of essing on the whole thing because
it was satire.
This is horrible piece of junk.
satire. Yes.
All
You were doing like a Don't Look Up, but you were doing it like 2003. Don't Look Up. Like, I'm mocking everything.
Listen, we got Joe's intro, his brand new intro to Parks and Parlays. You could make your own.
All right, you ready?
Oh, here comes the
choice.
manifest.
Okay, here we go. Here comes here's the new theme.
Yeah.
Do you like theme parks? I like theme parks. Do you like gambling? I still like gambling. Fun fact, those two things have absolutely nothing to do with each other, and that's okay. Coming up next, it's Parks and Parlays with Joey M.A.S.H. Exclusively on A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan.
What's wrong with that?
Remember when Michael Scott introduced himself on
Bingo.
stage?
Dude, oh my gosh, that was what I did.
Yes. I'm just saying, there's a reason why the writers thought that was funny.
Yes.
Because, like, introducing yourself is sad, right?
Yes.
All right, how are you doing it?
You nailed it. That's how it was a nod to the office. You're in my head, bro.
It's like the 1 minute comedy. All right, just like
What's going on, monsters? I remember
Give him a hug. Give him a hug.
Come on, bro. Come on.
That's
Can
a
we hug it
huggable
out?
moment right there, dude. The only thing you were missing there was a hug, right?
Yes.
They were bonding. He even put his arms out, and you almost did it. You got off. You pulled your cheeks off the chair. I saw it. You were ready to hug.
That hug was called the burgers.
God bless it.
So, all right. Parks and Parlays.
Parks and Parlays.
Now, we're right after the holiday season.
Yep.
I feel like right now, and tell me if this is wrong, is the best time to go to the parks because it's the least crowded?
It's my favorite time at the parks. The
I'll
weather.
be there in 2 weeks.
Yeah, man.
Or is
The
it-
weather, the way the parks look. I like the contrast of it being ultra Christmas, and then when they pull all that back, it's like back to normal, and I like that. I like the contrast.
It's so cool, dude. You nailed it. This is my favorite time. Excuse me. When I tell the families to come in town, my referral families that are repeat, like, when should we come down? I'm like, here's the deal. Be a bad parent. Either come the second week of January or the second week of September. Pull your kids out of school because they just had a long vacation. You own the park. They're closing the parks at like 5 and 6 p.m. That's how slow it is. They're like, there's just not enough people here for us to stay open.
Really?
Like,
So-
yeah, you'll get on rides when you get off. They're like, hey, y'all, there's nobody in line. You want to go again? It's like, yes. It's the best, dude.
You know what? I just thought of this. I believe my pass. I think I might be the only Dennis family member whose pass is still active because Andrea got him at weird times.
Solo trip.
I might head out there this weekend, or whenever I can make a reservation, I guess, to get in there, right? Like, because I still have to pick a time.
Dude, you let me know. If you want to go, I always need someone to drink with.
All right.
You're not an alcoholic if you drink
Done.
with friends.
I'll do it. Let's do it. Let's
I'm down.
roll out there
down.
and ride some stuff.
Now, I was expecting you to say that it used to be like that, but nowadays, because it's just there's so many people and more people traveling, and it's just like it's just as packed as it, not
But-
as packed, but still long lines and stuff.
No,
I didn't
no.
realize that it actually like no lines and it was empty.
No, all that's happening is with more people. We always joke that more people means more sheeple. It just means the busier seasons are busier. People are still like, I'm gonna go at Christmas. I don't care what it takes. And it's like, well, just so that you know what it takes, I'll see you at 5:45 a.m.
Yeah.
And they're like, wait, what time do I have to get there? I was like, well, the park opens at 7. It does? Mm-hmm. So it opens at 6,
Yeah.
which means the gates open at 5. I'll see you at 5:45 a.m. I will not have coffees, but I will have bourbon. Like, you got to make those.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Where are we at now? Because I think you would know a lot about this, and I know Sam can weigh in on this. where are we at now as far as annual pass holders, locals, people that live around here that go to the parks? It seems like there's a lot of negativity.
Yeah.
Like going, and I know, and then this is what I hear. I hear from people that love the parks, not Sam, but other people that I know that are really into it, that are like, well, Disney doesn't care. They only care about the people that are coming from vacations or coming to be there. And that just, I almost don't believe that, because I'm like, it's weird. Where are we at on that, in your opinion? Because you're out there almost every day, right?
Yeah. Oh gosh, yes. We have no financial tie to Disney, so if I say something about Disney that's not in poor taste, but we're not going to burn any bridges.
No.
So they're calling the
Who, us?
Yeah.
You think the mouse has connections to us?
I'm talking
I have so
them
much
right
love
now.
for you guys. I just don't want to burn any bridges.
No.
Bob Chippick, they call him Bob Cheapskate for a reason.
Yeah.
And that's the only diss I can throw. He's probably running a tight shift, but I was around during the Eisner administration, dude. I like Michael Eisner. I like big business.
It seems like most people did like Eisner.
During Michael Eisner, they were like, well, he doesn't do a lot with family. It's like, cool. Do you know that he opened 4 parks in 12 years? You know, I mean, the dude's successful as heck. Yeah, I get it. This ride is sponsored by Chiquita Banana, but guess what?
Right.
It's open.
It's corporate, but
Yeah.
It's corporate.
You get
know,
more stuff.
You know,
Yeah, it's rolling. That's true.
Mickey Mouse looks like a NASCAR. You know, he's got endorsements down his leg. I get it,
Yeah.
but it works.
Yeah.
So I was a fan
Money
of that.
makes everything better, usually.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
Put that
Write
on a
that
friggin'
down.
I just
accessory.
wonder if they're like, it is, because you're out there all the time. I guess I should have formulated my question a little bit better, but I guess what I'm asking is, what do you hear? What do you see? And do you think that there will be anything done to try and repair this seemingly this damage that's been done? Because like, I'm not looking forward to get, I don't think I'll get my passes. I don't think I'll re-up. I don't think there's a need. I don't feel like they've done as much to, like, for instance, the annual pass holder, like, intro, little hey, you're an annual pass holder, you get a private entrance. Nah, come on, it's garbage. It's like over there, everybody's using it. It's no different than anything else. It's not anything fancy. You're not giving me a premium or anything good.
I love Universal Studios. I mean, maybe because it's only 18 minutes from where I live and it's a
Correct.
close drive. I love Universal Studios.
Yeah.
I love the people at Universal. I love the way they treat their annual pass holders.
Yeah.
But they have an annual pass holder lounge. And when you go in, it's right next to the where they have the prop shop, next to the ice cream spot.
Yeah, I know what you're talking
And
about.
you go inside, and it's like, this is the annual pass holder lounge. It's big enough for like 20 people, and there's sodas. And I'm like, what do I get? And they go, you get a free pin and a free magnet every 3 months.
So
And
is
I'm
that
like, oh.
ship sailed? Are the locals? Is that just gone? At least until they decide they want to make that a priority again.
What I've learned about the locals is the locals don't go to the theme parks to ride the rides. The locals don't go to the theme park. They go for the Instagram. Locals go to the theme park so that they can tell their families from the frozen tundra that is Northern America that, like, hey, look what I'm doing today. This is a 50th anniversary dessert. Look what I'm doing today. This is a churro that's only available 1 week out of the year. Look what I'm doing. And that's what it is. It's a lot of, like, it's just locals go so that they can show people, like, I'm a local. And there's a pride there. And I think that's cool. But, I mean, on my days, I'm paid to ride rides with families. So on my days off, I go to the theme parks and just hang out and do my YouTube stuff.
Right.
So maybe it's different for me.
Yeah. No, I understand.
So right now, which park would you say is the least busy? So for a guy like me, who I joke around, but I'm not the biggest fan of theme parks. I don't really enjoy going there, mainly because the crowds, the corporate nature of the whole thing, and I just don't want to deal with it. Anyway, but I will go to make my sons happy. But I would like to go to the deadest theme park possible, so there isn't that
I
that
do like some
lines
space.
and
Yeah,
people.
some space.
Only because I just don't like, and nothing even to do with the damn
No,
Corona
it's
now.
not
It's mainly just I don't want to be in crowds of people.
I agree. Like, even pre-Corona, I didn't like being nut to butt with folks in lines. That's
Amen.
not fun.
That's what we say. I love that. We always say asses to elbows, but I like not the butt.
Yeah, it's just weird.
Well, what's nice is that you have 2 boys, and they're at the age where, I mean, it's no joke. They love The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
I would, if you had a day off and I could party with you and your sons, it would just be, we'd bro out. We'd go to Hollywood Studios. We would do all the Star Wars stuff. We'd do all the Toy Story stuff. We'd go grab a beer over at Big River. Like, you could do that, and that's fun. The busiest park will always be Magic Kingdom, because in 1971, Walt Disney broke ground and people. That's the park. The Magic Kingdom will always be the busiest park. Animal Kingdom will usually be the slowest park because it's the biggest in terms of square footage, but it's got the least amount of attractions. And nothing pisses a kid off more than saying you have to walk 1.3 miles between each roller coaster. They hate it.
Yeah,
But, you know, I will say Animal Kingdom has one thing going for it that the other parks don't have, which is...
Avatar.
You can, yeah, I do like Avatar, but you can walk up and down and step in puddles of water all day at Animal Kingdom.
Not wrong. That's a fun inside joke.
Why is the entire Animal Kingdom, it's all concrete, but the way that they've made it try to look like real wilderness, everything is a puddle. So you're just walking around with wet feet. Oh, I'm dumb old man in at heart there. You know what? I'm just going to, I'll redact that.
No, I'm telling you right now, there's nothing worse than wet feet and wet underwear. That's why I don't go on water rides with the families. I
did
tell
that.
them.
I used to do that at Busch Gardens. We went on a water ride. I
Yep.
remember we went on a water ride at Busch Gardens with my mom and my dad, and we were on that big
The inner tube.
yellow inner tube where it's like, it looked very ominous, right? It was like a round inner tube, and it looked like a gravitron.
The Kali River Rapids at
And
Animal Kingdom.
yeah, you'd sit in it, and then they'd put a belt on you, and then you had like a metal bar you could hold on to, and then a wave of water went over and blew one of my mom's boobs out of her. I believe one of my mom's pendulous breasts fell out of the right one, just boom. And my dad is so mad. You know why my dad was mad? My goddamn knee brace got wet. Now I gotta walk all day with a wet knee brace.
Oh, yeah.
My
God, I
dad
wish I met
hated
your
when
dad.
his knee brace got wet.
Yeah. When you wet a real man's just legs, and
Oh, I
feet and
hated, my
and he's
God.
got wet shoes, like he's walking around.
My dad's
in
wearing
wet boat
shorts
shoes.
and cowboy boots and a knee brace.
I said that Dudley Do-Right's the worst, dude. At Universal, that log flume.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we called it the Day Wrecker 3000. I had to throw away a brand new pair of Chuck Taylors after that ride. I got so wet on that ride, my clothes were unusable. It was miserable.
Do people like? Are there people that? Okay, I am not, and because everybody's different, I am not a water ride guy. Here's why I'm not.
Cheers.
Because I'm wearing jeans and a shirt, right?
Yep.
But if you got me in my bathing suit and Crocs,
if you're at a
put me
theme
on the
park,
water
yeah,
ride.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm like all day
We
long.
tell our families, we plan for that. I always
Yeah.
say if you're doing 2 days with me at Universal, when we do the Islands of Adventure Day, you're going to actually bring a backpack. And the backpack is where you're going to bring your regular clothes.
Yeah.
You're going to wear your board shorts, your tank top, your Crocs in
You
the
gotta
morning.
wear a rash guard that's too tight so you're fat. So you get that thing on your belly button where you get the trampoline over the top.
There is something that is gratifying about seeing a Midwest nerd dad
with a mustache, big handlebar. It blew the wax out of it.
has, you know,
You got like what's his name? You got Yellowstone. He's riding. He's dressed like Yellowstone. He's what's the family's name? I don't
The
know.
Duttons.
The Duttons. You got Daddy Dutton. Daddy Dutton is
John Dutton with a vest and a belt and jeans and cowboy
Ooh,
boots.
wet jeans.
And it's completely soaked.
Soak that Dutton.
He goes with the curl. He goes from Snidely Whiplash to Sam Elliott, just like that.
Straight down.
And it's 10:30 a.m. and he's gonna be there with his family all day long. And it's like you didn't think this out, Dutton. Like,
Damn it,
you're
Dutton.
soaked. and then you see a family that's completely soaked, and you're like, you're gonna have to walk around like
All
that all
day.
day. Like
All day.
if you have soaked jeans, they're not gonna
buddy.
like. It's humid in Florida. Like it's not like I think they think it like
Mine start
you're in
to
Minnesota.
smell.
And they'll be because like in the dry air, your jeans will dry out like in a couple hours. In Florida, if you have wet
stay
jeans,
wet all day.
they'll be wet until you get home. And then
Oh,
they'll never
the
dry.
chafing.
Yeah.
And the big one is the families that do Disney and Universal, because they go to Disney, they do Splash Mountain, and they go, 38-foot drop, we got a little wet, tee-hee. Then you go to Universal, those rides are legit, dude.
Yeah.
86 feet on Jurassic Park.
Yeah, it's a different kind of.
Then if you go on Popeye, you got people shooting water at you.
Yeah,
I hate that.
I do like that though. I support
I
that.
don't like it.
I support that because
You're
I
spraying John Dutton.
I look for you. I look for the Sams.
I
and
sprayed
look,
his cowboy hat.
I look for. I
Scream
look
cussing Dan out
I
from,
look
from the
for-
Popeye ride.
women in white t-shirts and little red-haired British boys right in the face. I go right for the T's on the ladies, and I go right in the face on the little
Here's
pasty.
your-
These
I
little
know,
pasty
they're
British
looking
boys.
you in the eyes.
Yeah, they're looking at me. You got Ed Sheeran coming around the corner, and I'm right in his eyeballs, and he's like, ah!
It's Gun 6, Dudley Do-Right. Gun 6 is the one that's angled up, so it whacks him in the
Man,
face.
me and Jimmy, or Jim Colbert, Dirty Jim, Jimmy's such a bad person. And I support him because I am too. He when we found that we went like opening weekend or whatever, we're out there. These are new water guns.
Love
I mean,
to go
these
to the
things
park with
whoever engineered it was like, I've engineered this squirt gun to go right in this person's face. And once Jimmy figured that out, he went to this is back when you could still go and put a $10 bill in a thing and it would just pump out quarters. I don't even think they do that anymore.
No, you
Jimmy
get
came
tokens.
back with like all the quarters, and we're just pumping them in there, just lighting people up, man, all day. We spent an hour there with Sam Adams and quarters.
Dude, I say that like it's the most fun you can have with a roll of quarters.
You just
It's
go get a
Dudley Do Right
beer, and you
flat.
just sit there, and you just start, it's so fun.
You giggle, you get your beer. It's true. You're right.
So, Joey, any other pieces of advice right now for our listeners if they want to go to the parks?
Advice-wise, it's still always get there early, but they changed the lightning lane. You used to be able to fat wall
It just started the lightning lane. They've already changed it?
Yeah. Well, you used to be able to show up, with your Amex Black card,
Right.
and you'd say, I'm going to buy this ride and this ride and this ride. Now you can only buy one ride at a time. So all of a sudden, Disney must have got the feedback, and they're learning that only 35% of the people are using Genie Plus. And they're like, well, hell, I mean, why do we create this if not everybody would do it? And it's like, well, if everybody does it, nobody can get it. And people aren't as stupid as I think the theme parks are thinking they are.
Yeah.
They're like, these are sheeple. Sheeple have YouTube. You'd be surprised how easy it is to kind of learn
The
how
word
things work.
spreads
Yes.
on the
Yeah.
internet. Yeah.
Also, it's not like
the
you know
hive intelligence is teaching people way faster.
And also, one of the things, and I don't know if they thought about this, but like it's not like they've been opening up brand new stuff.
And
like
that's the big thing.
I've
is
done
everything gets-
everything there.
Yes, and it all keeps getting pushed back.
Right.
Tron Light Cycle was supposed to open during the Trump administration. What the hell?
That's what I wanted.
Why
man.
is it not opening until 2029 or something?
Yeah,
you know?
I want that ride. I think that'd be
Oh,
so.
it's gonna
It's
be
so
amazing.
cool. In
But-
Shanghai, they show it.
I was
It's
going to say, have you
rad.
watched the videos?
I have.
Oh, they look so cool.
But I'm just like, I just don't know when that's gonna happen, and I'm not as much of a fan. Like that's why I think I'm gonna let my pass go because it's just not
Like, it
until
stinks.
everything's operational and we have it worked out where I can get in there a little quicker. It'd be too long.
It stinks that I was ready to be like, yo, do you want to go to Magic Kingdom? But now it's like maybe Maisie's graduation present will be an inaugural ride. It shouldn't take that long for this thing to open. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
let's go. You got Disney Imagineers. You got more money than the Pope. Open the damn ride. What are we waiting for? I've seen it dry run. I know it's ready. I don't care if the drywall's not finished. Open the ride. Show me the gift shop. Get me a beer, and let's do the Tron thing.
Yeah.
You would think they'd just be working 24 hours a day constantly to get things like that up and running because it's such a revenue boost for them, right? Or maybe they just
don't have people working.
No,
Yeah,
dude,
yeah, yeah.
the guy who lives across the street from me is a Disney electrician. And I asked him, I was like, man, you guys must be really crushing it right now. He's like, nah, baby. He's like, they shut the whole thing down. I was like, what? He's like, none of us are working. Why aren't you working? COVID. I'm like, yeah, but you're electricians. You're real men. You don't care. And he's like, I know, but they won't give us work. And I was like, that sucks.
Huh.
So during COVID, even the guys that were like, hey, the park's empty, we should do work, weren't doing work. So everything
Because
got
of
pushed
broad regulation, probably. It's just,
Yeah,
and that's a
we-
giant corporation, broad regulation slows things down.
You've been rhyming so good today.
So, Joey,
if
what-
you're poor, look on the floor. Look for the score.
What do we got for parlays today?
Parlays. Now this is.
Do you know how
This-
hard it was for him to get through all that dumb Disney stuff to
No,
get
no,
through
that-
his fat, juicy steak of gambling?
This is either going to be a reward. I have to look at the phone because I had to screenshot this. This is either going to be a reward for the great Tom Van, or he was going to say mean things to me.
Okay.
So, I'm from Pittsburgh. I'm a diehard Steeler fan.
All
You
right.
can put your pen down. You're not going to learn anything during this.
Okay. Well, I've been writing it
Oh,
down.
I like him.
now.
I like him commanding you. Put your pen down,
Because
you idiot.
this is either going to come off like a reward for you, or you're going to MF me, and I may not be invited back. So I'm from Pittsburgh. I'm a huge Steelers fan. The Steelers have to beat the Ravens in Baltimore. The Jaguars must beat the Colts. And the Raiders and Chargers cannot end in a tie. If they do, the Steelers go to the playoffs. That's
true.
If the Steelers go to the playoffs and they make it all the way to the Super Bowl and they win, I am sitting on I was going to take a picture, but I'm not going to lie to you. I have a ticket that I bought when I went to Vegas last July on my birthday that I put $20 down for the Steelers to win the Super Bowl. If they win the Super Bowl, I have to fly to Las Vegas to claim a check for thousands of dollars.
How much money? What odds did you get them at?
If you want to know, you have to come to Las Vegas with me and claim that ticket. I will pay for your flight. The room has already been comped.
Do it.
You don't have to do anything except smile and sit next to me on the plane and watch whatever the hell we have on
You guys
Blu-ray.
can hug a couple times.
I won't hug you.
Hug practice. Hug practice.
You're going to gamble with me. We're going to go for 3 days. I will fly you to Las Vegas.
This is like indecent proposal.
I know.
Next thing you know, he's got money on a bed. You're rolling around in it naked. Woody Harrelson flies. A helicopter lands.
My parlay is Mr. Tom Van. If the Steelers win the Super Bowl, will you fly to Las Vegas and claim the check with me if I pay for
He
everything?
wants to know how much.
Well,
Like you get up there and it's like $2,700. He's like, what?
No, it's more than 5, less than 8.
Listen, if the Steelers win the Super Bowl, not only
There's
will
a 4% chance.
This is straight up Rain Man, right?
I will go to Vegas with you.
Yeah.
I will do anything you want.
Oh, careful.
Anything. Anything.
I said no rainbow, but careful.
Oh, my God.
Because
Next thing you know, you're getting B after you're dressed like Ben Roethlisberger.
I will get a Joey Mazant back tattoo like Steve-O.
Wait a minute.
Look, that's how confident I am.
I
It's not
want
gonna
Joey,
happen.
but I want it full. I want it the hat kicked.
White
I want
Claw and White Claw in
Yeah,
hands.
I want White Claw. I want a thumb up.
I mean-
I want him like behind the piano. Behind the piano.
I'd make a sizable bet the Steelers won't make the playoffs. Jacksonville's not beating the Colts. No way in hell. The
I
Steelers
can't
are going to have
see
a
it
hard time
happening.
even trying in this game against the Ravens, even though they do have a chance if Colts somehow lose, although they need to beat Jacksonville, so it's unlikely. But what's odd about this and kind of makes me pause is the Colts did lose the first game last year against Jacksonville. Remember that?
Yeah, I do remember
their
that,
first game
yeah.
of the year.
And people were like all fired up.
Yeah, because they like people were. I mean, it screwed up a lot of people's pools that they were in, survival pools and stuff, and and a lot of different moneyline parlays. So, I mean, it's possible, but it seems like Ben Roethlisberger has already accepted that basically this last home game he played in, which he played like garbage, was his last game, and he won against the Browns, and he was talking like it was his last game.
I've never-
and he's playing the Ravens, so I think
There was only a 20% chance that was going to happen last night. 20% was the return. I've got 5 Tom and Dan coasters right here. 1 in 5 shot that the Steelers win, and I'm holding that 1 in 5 shot. What I'm telling you is that nothing is guaranteed in gambling, little brother. Nothing is guaranteed.
I like that he added little brother on there.
So
I love
little.
there's almost like a sense of mysticism here. Like I was like sitting there like staring at you. I'm like, what is happening right now?
So
like,
what I'm telling
the
you
hell
is-
going on right now? I'm so into this right now.
Is if I
why
say
am I so into this right now?
if I say pick a card,
I loved it.
I
was
love
like,
it.
I loved
That's why
it.
he was hugging you.
He was like, I gotta,
You're
and,
his little
and he was
brother.
like, and I'm holding it right now, little brother. And I
So-
was like, yes, you are,
I don't know
little
what's
brother.
happening.
so if I tell you,
And you're like,
There's
yes, you
only-
are, little brother, and I'm your big dumb big brother.
so if there's only a 4% chance the Steelers win the Super Bowl, you pull a deck of cards. If I say there's an ace of spades and a king of spades, and if I put them out on the table, if you pick the ace or the king, you're coming to Vegas. Holy S, what if you turn over the ace or king? What I'm saying is, you're coming to Vegas with me, and we're going to cash a fat check, and who knows?
All right.
love it.
Listen,
So
Like,
that's the
people are gonna be
parlay.
Like, why aren't you doing the show today? I was like, Tom's in Vegas and Joey.
and he's
And
blowing
he's-
him.
and he's-
No.
Tom is in Vegas.
No, you're a beautiful
Blow it.
human, but I
Joey.
promise. I'm straight. But I
I was like, well, that's
Don't
weird.
tell Brian Simon.
Yeah, what happened? What do they do? Well, Tom's getting a back tattoo next after the thing. After he does the thing, he's got to go get his back tattoo.
so that's what's happening. So
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
the
Which
parlay
is worse,
portion.
the tattoo or the thing?
I the tattoo because
It really
my
is.
sons will ask me who's that. And
You're
then
right, and I have recently
then I
had
have to
a
tell them
lot.
about the other thing.
I have recently had a lot of tattoo work done on my chest, and I will say that
Yeah.
after I got that done, I had wished that I had done.
the Joey.
Yeah, I
I'll take the hat off.
Don't call it the Joey.
Just tell him I'm Chris Daughtry or Johnny Sins or some other famous bald guy.
If you know,
You know. Thank you. I knew you'd get it.
Oh man,
I got called him in a
Alright.
YouTube video. Somebody said,
Yeah.
"Why is Johnny Sins giving Homer Simpson a beer?" And I was like, "I'm flattered and honored."
I guess statistically, you're right. It is possible, but I will bet everything I have against that.
You don't got to bet everything you have. All you got to bet is a few days of partying and drinking heavily. With
How'd
me.
you do this year? Gambling pretty good, right?
Well, Joey.
We'll talk off the record.
Okay, yeah, I figured
I
you'd want to
did,
do
I-
that because you did.
I paid my house off in
He's
January.
been pretty, he's been pretty smiley this NFL season. And what have you done any cards this year? A lot of cards.
Yeah.
Which is your favorite, cards or
I
or
like
gambling?
cards because I've been equated to Mike the Mouth Mattisau. I talk a lot at the table and it throws people off.
Okay.
And they hate it.
They hate
and I
it.
do funny voices, and I tell jokes, and I do
Dude,
all
chirping at the table. Never thought about that.
I'm a hard chirper, dude.
I usually stay real quiet, just almost out of respect. But you know what? I like what you're saying about me maybe turning on my chirp powers to throw people off, because I'm not the best player, and I'm still figuring out how to actually, like, where I do not excel is I don't know how to properly use what I have to muscle people around. I know how to bet.
And it's weird for me because I don't wear jewelry because I have so many nervous tics. And so at the table, people are like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "I'm good. I'm off. I'm a little off today." And I'm like, "I'm fidgety. I'm stagnant."
Yeah.
My chip stacks are gorgeous. I make these beautiful. I made an entire chip stack that looked like the Millennium Falcon
It's
one
like
time.
Legos.
And people are like, "That's good." People are taking pictures with me, and it was so cute. I had this great chip stack, and it's so I enjoy it.
It's kind of like the advice of, like, don't fight guys with cauliflower ear. Like, don't play poker against guys that are fidgety, doing the math, making their chips into architectural design.
Exactly.
There's a ring,
I
man.
can see the lasers. He's looking at the lasers right now.
He is seeing math. He's gonna beat you.
You know what you're
Like,
doing? You're thinking about the steak you want to have at the steakhouse across the street at the Bellagio. What? This guy's over here looking at lasers.
Yeah, is that a built-to-scale model of Papa Smurf's house? How did you make them go out like that? I'm like, well, you have to counterweight them. It's amazing. People are taking pictures. Yeah.
Yeah,
funny.
the last time most people were in math were in high school. You don't have any advantage over Joey.
You know, my wife has been teaching me. It's funny. Here's a dad tip. If your wife and daughter are doing math, listen to them, because they'll give you new ways to do math that you don't do well.
But Common Core is BS. We can admit that Common Core sucks.
I don't even know what that is. That's how little I pay attention.
Okay, never mind.
It does seem like a efficient way to do math once they learn, because I'm seeing my sons learn it, and it's interesting because they are doing just the calculations differently, and that's why they're teaching them that. And I'm like, okay, I can see that, but it's odd to us who learn math differently. So it's weird seeing someone calculate math in a different way than you've learned,
right?
And it's bizarre, and that's why the whole everybody bitching about it, because they don't. They're like, what? Why?
People hate change.
What's wrong with the way I do it?
Yep.
But it seems like, working with doubles and taking one off and stuff. It's like I'm seeing Max and Tommy do it in their heads, and I'm like, oh, that seems pretty.
Yeah,
efficient.
that's what Maisie does, and I don't do math like that. Like,
I know, we learned it different.
No, but Andrea, you know what's? Is Andrea? She's a little bit younger than you. She knows it. Like she must have caught it. Like right when they first started trying to teach this style, because she does all that.
I don't know. I'm younger than her, and I didn't.
Because she's
that
like,
way.
if I have this and I have this, we'll just use that and take one away, and then you have the answer. And I'm like, I don't do math like that.
Well, she just learned it.
I use my fingers.
She's super smart. But
I
learned.
I do standard Little House on the Prairie finger math.
But it's so hard for me to tell kids about math because they're like, what's 12, 12, 12? I'm like, 144. How did you do that? I just did it. I feel bad because it's hard for me to teach kids math because I just compute it. And it's hard.
Yeah, you're not a process guy. You've got it in you.
Yeah, I'm an idiot.
There.
Or savant, or whatever they call it. An idiot savant.
No,
a little of both.
I would just prefer to call you a smart person.
Oh,
It's
you're
just a nice
sweet.
way of saying
Thank
it.
you. I wish my mom was as nice to me as you were, Dan. Thank you.
Your brain's a calculator, and some
But it's like a crappy one from 03.
You know what I think my, my
solar.
brain is? My brain is an old Nerf football that somebody threw, and it went over your house and then into that little patch of woods you have right behind your fence. And it laid there for a solid 6 to 9 months. And it got rained on.
Yeah, it's bleached on the top, but it still looks brand new on the bottom.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's my brain.
However, people think you bought the two-tone and it's worth more.
Exactly.
You're a collector's item, Dan.
Brand new on the bottom.
You're a collector's item.
All right.
You're the John Elway limited edition.
Thank you, Joey. If
Thank
people
you.
want to contact you about doing tours with the parks or anything, how should they do that?
As always, they can reach out to me, Joey Mazan, on all social media platforms. And we got like 30 seconds?
Yeah, you got plenty of
We
time.
got like 5 minutes.
Yeah, take
Really?
your time. Take your time.
I want to give a huge thank you to Dwayne from Toll Road Brewing in Ocoee. They are going to be the newest members of the Tom and Dan local watering holes.
Yeah.
I went and
They
met
got
with-
good- They
Was
got
this-
good beer.
Was literally this just coincidence that you planned on plugging Toll Road Brewing at the end of this segment?
Oh, I didn't think about
We
that. You're
talked
right.
about the Toll
Because this
Booth.
is out near Claremont area, and our buddy,
Ocoee.
or
Dude,
Ocoee,
that's
yeah.
a great magnet.
Our
That's
buddy,
why people believe
Mike,
in God.
It is Mike Aiello.
He is the nicest human being in the world.
He truly
oh my
is.
gosh.
He's a beautiful and lovely man. He brought me, and the reason I know about Toll, because that's a little far for me, right?
I do.
But
Yeah, it's in Ocoee.
he brought me a delicious, and I believe it was a cherry cola beer they made. And it was top tier, man. It was so good. Really, really good.
Or when you walked in here, we hit you with, have you ever had a weird job? You were thinking about Toll Road Brewing, that the fact that you needed to plug that. Then you immediately thought about your toll booth operator job. You told me, and then bingo bongo. That
Mnemonic device. It's not just a hard word to spell. What it was is I did a couple of YouTube videos for them just because it's nice whenever it's only a mile from your house. You can walk to the bar. You don't get a DUI. It's safe that way.
And it's quaint. That's
It's
a
dude,
sweet little spot.
and they're genius because what they do is they don't have a food license, so they invite food trucks to roll up. So every day it's a different meal. It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
And what they did is the guy saw me, and I did a couple videos. Again, Dwayne, the brewmaster there, the owner, he reached out. He wants to become part of your hookup. He wants to be a part of the watering hole.
Yeah.
So I have all of his info for you. He's actually watching us right now. And what's up, bro? And they are going to unleash a New England IPA called It's Wicked Hazy, Joey.
No, really? I have to
you get your own
go.
I'm getting my own beer, bro.
That's
I'm getting a beer
dope.
named after me.
Congratulations,
So
man.
whenever we do the unveiling, it'll of course BDM friendly. Everybody will roll. I'll make sure I send messages to everybody. We'll hang out there, and it'll be the great unveiling of the next Tom and Dan watering hole in sunny Ocoee, Florida. I know you've been there for the charity golf tournament.
Yep.
And everybody can come out and hang out with me and have It's Wicked Hazy, Joey. It'll be a lot of fun.
Awesome. Toll Road Brewing. Yeah, for
Good
sure.
Good stuff. Cute. Like definitely check. You gotta check it out because you just gotta see it.
It's fun because Crooked Can's right down the road. So if you do want a brewery hop, you're not far. And then you come out here. You go to 1010. You go to what are the breweries that you guys work at
There's
without
so
here?
many ones around here.
Like walking
now.
distance from this studio. There's like 6 of them.
Yeah.
I have to pull up though the watering hole list now because there's so many on there and so many new little breweries that
do
are
you
popping
guys
up here
personally
and there.
curate? Because I've been to every Tom and Dan watering hole. I've been to Bug Nutty. I love it out there.
Yep.
Every Tom and Dan watering hole, the beer's like bougie and awesome.
I
like,
think I've had everything except for like the ones that are out of state.
Okay, that makes sense.
Because
Yeah,
most
yeah.
of the beers, if we can't get there, somebody will bring it to us so we can try it. You know, like a new one that we have
Like
on
Dade
there is
City.
Dade City.
Yeah.
Man, have you had their beer?
No.
Man, they're good. We got a lot of really
I
good
gotta
breweries.
update my checklist.
Yeah.
A lot of
Right.
really good breweries.
Yeah, you do.
You know, because we have some stuff floating around in there. Like when Kirk Bonacci was in here yesterday, they were digging through a fridge and pulling out some like older beers.
They got Dade City as well.
I saw some
yesterday,
Dade City in there. I saw them pulling out some Sideward. There's another one we never mentioned, and that's right down the
Yes.
road. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
mentioned 1010. We know
Yep.
Mike and have known him for
Of
a very
course,
long time.
great guys.
Yeah, it's cool that a lot of people want to be in that business because it benefits all of us, right? It's like
does.
It's an attractive thing, like to own like a brewery and stuff. So like a lot of people are starting them up, and it just benefits us all because we get great beer, right? And you know, but it seems like a tough business, man.
Oh
Like,
man, we're skipping Tacticals right here.
I love Tactical.
Yeah, Tactical just did their collaboration with. Oh God, they were working all weekend with. I like what they do, and you see podcasts do this, but it's really cool when breweries do this. They'll like. I might be bastardizing this, but I like it when a brewery will they'll like host another brewery from like the West Coast, and they'll fly in, and then the guys use their
partner up.
knowledge
Yeah,
and
yeah.
their recipe, and then they collab. That's just cool. I think that's really neat.
They joke about that in an episode of BoJack Horseman. They're like, oh, this is rare beer called Bi-Coastal. The hops are hosted in Portland, Oregon, but the beer is brewed in Portland, Maine.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's like, I
like
get that. It's a good
cool.
reference.
It's
Yeah.
very, very cool.
all right, Joey. We'll talk to you next month.
Absolutely.
I appreciate you coming by.
Always.
One of these days, I'll get my boys together and I'll let you take us to the park.
Dude, I
so-
would love your boys. You.
He
I'm
will
telling you
never
right
do that.
Tom, he will
empty
because
lie.
he will because Tom Van the father is one of the kindest men I've ever seen in my life. The
Yeah, but
way-
his boys aren't into the parks. Like, if they were really
might
into
be
No,
into
they
Star Wars stuff,
Yeah,
though.
they would be.
Yeah,
into
they won't be
Star
into the
Wars.
Magic Kingdom, but I bet if I take him to Hollywood Studios, I get Tom at Oga's Cantina, we shotgun 3 or 4 beers, and all of a sudden he's like, "This is the best day ever." It'll be a blast.
No, he'll
bro.
never say that.
They're rewatching Mandalorian. They're they're into Star Wars right now. So,
Maisie asked about The Mandalorian.
You should watch it with her.
Yeah, she wants to watch it. I think we're gonna.
Let's write it off the taxes. Make it a live show. We'll go to Hollywood Studios and record.
He
Bring
doesn't
the
like to
kids.
do the out on location.
I like to go through the exit and then
I would. I like that.
Give me
too.
that because I did
Hashtag
one
that guy's
time.
back
You
in
know
the
what?
park.
There's nothing more rewarding than when you're with somebody of theme park presence, right? Somebody with some weight.
Yeah.
Somebody's got theme park balls, right? And then they take you to an exit, and then there's some like dumpy teen standing there, and they tap their shoulder, they turn around, and they're like, "What?" And they're like, "I'm the bug." And then you go through a secret door, and you skip the entire. You don't watch a dumb movie. There's no Kermit the Frog. There's no. You're not looking at the
And then
props.
everybody
you don't
watches
get any
you
of the garbage
as you get on the ride
Yeah,
first.
and then you
front
look,
row.
and I always do this move, like because you walk by, and traditionally to the right of you will be the queue where everybody else is, the plebeians, and then me and Tom, and then we got this the confused teen is like, oh, I guess, and then the boss is like, and then I always look at them a little bit, just like I got the juice.
If you want to do that, we could Little Rascals it, where I'll sit on your shoulders because I don't have any hair because we're thinking of the same guy, and I'll put the coat over top.
Yeah, I've always wanted to do the coat.
Being an abnormally tall person.
Look at me. Look at me looking out the forms I am. Put me on this roller coaster. I'm 9 foot tall.
Weren't you trespassed? No, that's a different bald guy.
Look at me. I'm a creature. I want to ride dueling dragons. That's gone, right?
Too soon.
Yeah.
It's only been a decade.
I know. I'm sorry. I
Is it
missed
got
that coaster.
Oh.
I miss.
what's
I
there
miss
now?
any of
Hagrid's
the-
Magical Creature Motorbike.
I've
It's
never
fun.
ridden that.
It's fun.
It's a cool ride, dude. You'd love it. It's rad.
But dude, I liked it when the old wives' tale was your shoes come so clear, your
They stopped doing that.
bottom of your
Yeah.
sneakers come about an inch away from the other sneakers, man.
You know why
That'll
they
rip
did
your
that?
toes right off.
Because
Yeah,
that
I
lady
heard.
got hit in the head with somebody else's sunglasses, and she,
Yeah.
you know what? We don't want to get into legal stuff, but anyway,
Really?
things happened. Things were settled out of court, and they had
Someone
to
lost
stagger.
an eye.
Somebody lost that. What are the odds that sunglasses make you lose your eye?
I don't think it was the sunglasses. That did that.
I
But
was
they
gonna
had to
say,
stagger
that is
ride.
funny.
Yeah.
yeah, that's terrible.
And that's why that ride closed down.
all right.
All right, bye-bye. Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Our producer Sam is here. Hello, Sam.
Hello.
She's digging through emails right now.
am.
If you want to sign up to be a BDM, you can go to tomanddan.com. It's on the front page. Easy to do.
Yep.
And then once you're signed up, you can get all the BDM shows on our app just by putting your name and password through the app. Then you can get every show we do through our app.
Yeah.
And that's a mediocre app found on all platforms. Just
Yeah.
search Tom and Dan.
Just search Tom and Dan. It pops right up. All of our content's on there. Like Tom was saying, if you're a BDM member, we have a BDM Facebook group. We do live BDM shows, video shows in there. You can check that out. There's a great group in there of like-minded people you can kick around with. And don't forget, we're live on Twitch right now, twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live. And all replays of what is live right now will be on YouTube later this afternoon. Search for Tom and Dan Live.
Great. Let's do an email.
Okay. Tom, I understand how long you've been with your wife. I also understand that she runs your life. This is about, the subject is about the Louis Armstrong doll.
Okay, we're going back.
I had a conversation about that yesterday.
We're going
Okay,
back.
good.
There is a Louis Armstrong animatronic doll that I believe your wife fell in love with because her grandparents had it out as a decoration in the
Yeah,
home.
and her grandma gave it to her because she's like, I know you and the kids like this because it was sitting on the thing and it was like basically
You can have my black man doll.
Louis Armstrong, and he sings if you press a button and he moves and it's like a
What a wonderful world.
yeah. And it looks
Is that you, Santa Claus?
to me. If you just see it sitting on our table, which she has it on our table, it looks like it's
Like
some
your
sort of
dining room
racist.
table?
No, they have it out front of their house in their yard, and he's
no.
holding a lantern. I was like, my God, man, why do you have that?
It's basically on the cabinet next to our dining room table where all other bric-a-brac and pictures of like
then-
trip to Paris or like all right.
Yeah, bric-a-brac hut. Yeah.
We went to Paris one time. Hey, look at my Louis Armstrong doll. Go hit the button.
And I
Isn't
said,
that Louis Armstrong
I'm
doll
embarrassed.
just one step higher than a Billy Bass?
Yes.
Oh yeah,
It's a Billy
trashy,
Bass.
but the
It is a
trashiness
Louis
doesn't bother me.
Armstrong Billy Bass.
The trashiness doesn't bother me as much as it just looks racist.
It does,
And then
yeah.
I tell her, I'm like, people will, when they come over, they're going to see that. They're like, what the hell?
It's not racist, but it looks racist. That's what
Yeah,
we
yeah.
determined, right?
The intent is not racist.
it's
It
not.
came out in a
My
series.
thoughts if it looks like it.
Right, but
it looks like a
I
duck.
think I actually think it came out as a tribute to like Louis Armstrong. It's just
Well, it was in a series, and then she was like, "This was in a series of other
Bing
animatronic."
Crosby.
Yeah, and they're all
there's
dressed
like,
the same.
Dean Martin.
But then we did a BDM show about it, and we talked to we discussed Ron.
Yeah.
And then we determined that because Louis Armstrong performed at a time where America was racist, and they basically had him dressed up like, the uniform Louis Armstrong wore to perform a lot of time was like a butler's outfit or
Yeah,
something.
sort of like
a
a
tuxedo.
but they gave him tails sometimes.
Yeah.
It almost looked like he was the help.
It was just like borderline. You're
Yeah.
like, just because the environment was racist, I imagine that it absorbed
Yes.
into the entertainment industry, and that whole
Yes, it did.
time
It did.
is so then just because of that, even though the intent anyway, I tell her, I was like, come on, we can't keep it, and she's like, this is my grandma's, I want to,
I
there's
told you
nothing
guys,
racist
I thought
about
you
it.
guys should just paint it pink and just pink it up a little bit.
Anyway, so
Sammy
now
Sosa.
Yeah, so say it.
But if you disagree with having the Louis Armstrong singing doll in your house, then she should respect that. If you have to question it, then you are probably right. Love the show. So he's saying you should tell her, like, I don't want this in my house, and she should respect your opinion.
What's the centerpiece of the house? They build everything around it. Like every picture they have on the walls of
you
Louis
do have
Armstrong.
black people in
Everywhere
pictures on
in your
wall,
house.
too.
Your house looks like OJ's after the murders. Like it's like all African art. It's like everything at Tom's house is African art.
Wait
And
a
I don't know
minute.
where he got it.
Where's your glove?
And the glove does not fit.
we reached an agreement to
Never talk about it.
She's gonna hide it when guests come over.
like a Bible. Like, pull
Well,
a
now
Bible.
it seems even more
That's
racist.
what I said.
If you hide it, it's racist.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, that's what I said, and then
Go
she's
hide
like,
our
"No,
racist doll."
I'm only doing it because you have a problem with it, and then because she's like, "There's nothing wrong with this."
What do you guys say when people are coming over? Because I saw it when I came over for.
Because what if you hide it?
No, I saw
and then
it.
you're
It
like
was
looking
out.
under the sink for some extra toilet paper or something, and you see a Louis
No, I saw
Armstrong.
it. It was out. It had a little July 4th hat on. Or no, not a July 4th. It had a New Year's hat on. 2022.
Oh no.
Yeah. I see
didn't
what this
see it.
gentleman's saying. That if I say it, it should be done, right? Like
He's testing you, bro.
yeah, he's calling.
He's
me.
calling you out.
He's saying I like
It's
the
your
spoon.
household
Yeah,
too.
it's a get the spoon scenario.
Yeah. And I see how that looks, right? And it could be
I'm
a little
just
bit
shocked at because you don't do the things that I do. Like there is a Daniel inside of me that through a series of arguments and through a reactionary Daniel where I pick the thing up and I smash it on the ground. You would never do that, right?
No, because she will get. I always look at it like I'm too lazy to have any resistance. I'm like,
that.
because I do think these things, but I'm not gonna go and
it's not worth it.
anything further than a slight discussion. That is a waste of my time. I'm just
got
like,
you.
I don't really care that much. You know,
Yeah,
like,
I got you.
and then it turns into everything
Because
like
honestly,
that.
how many people
But
are
that's
coming
how-
over? How many people are hitting the button of It's a Wonderful World? Not many.
That's how you lose control, though. This gentleman's right. I've lost total control of my kingdom and, the respect of my sons.
What do your sons think about it?
The lack of respect my wife
No,
shows
no,
me. I'm sure. I think they think. Well, they'll grow up thinking that she's the boss and that their old man was weak.
No, I mean,
That's
what do they
they'll
think of the doll?
Oh, they don't think anything. They don't care. They don't understand. You know,
How often? Okay, these are the questions I need to know to figure out where it matters in the universe. How often does your wife engage it to sing "It's a Wonderful World"? Louis Armstrong.
Well, when she first got it, a lot, but
Like
now
once a day?
now it just sits there. No one uses it.
You
The
won,
boys
bro.
don't.
You were right.
See, the
Just by
boys liked it
ignoring
when when it was over their great grandparents' house because it
was
like-
special.
well, it
They
was,
probably didn't have any toys,
yeah,
so it was the
there
only thing.
There was just books and like a bunch of war veteran
Yeah.
stuff, and then that thing, and that was the only thing they
Yeah.
could play with. So that's why the great grandma thought they liked it so much, but really it's just there was nothing else.
And your wife likes it because she has a
Nostalgic.
she has a nostalgic heart. Nostalgic
oh,
heart.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
okay.
and then it bleeds into hoarder stuff.
Well,
and,
I mean-
she's like, don't throw away my old oil shoes.
Well, I think a lot of
my
I
God.
think a lot of women have that. My wife has a Ziploc bag that has basically a booger blanket in it that has deteriorated to the point where it looks like the Predator's dreads. Like it's just a old handkerchief that she used to rub under her nose as a baby that she still has in a Ziploc bag. And I threatened one time to take it and throw it away. and she said she'd divorce me. And I said,
Wow.
you're an insane person. If you need the booger blanket from when you were your baby booger blanket, so if I throw this away, you're going to divorce me. It's very hard for me not to test it, right? It's very hard for me not to test
I don't think
that.
she'll do it.
I don't think she will either. I'll be like, look, bye-bye booger blanket, because like I'm going to have to do something more than throw it away. Because I did try that one time, and she pulled it out of the
Well,
trash.
at least she doesn't display it.
She would.
Yeah.
She would. She would.
If it was
The
like
thought
a,
of displaying it is there.
a Nazi flag, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't know.
you know.
It could have been a Nazi flag.
that's
It's deteriorated now. I don't know what it was.
Because my wife, she's like, well, this isn't like this isn't racist. The intent isn't racist.
Well,
There's nothing
hiding
racist.
it is racist.
And
It's sus.
but I said if someone had some
The
old
boys say that.
like some art from like
You have Egyptian kings riding camels in your house.
like the original like swastika was some ancient was it an Indian or Chinese like peace sign or something, like there
I always thought that was a Nazi trick. Like they were trying to get me to be on board with the swastika when they were like, "Did you know that the swastika before we had it was a peace-loving symbol?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm not falling for your tricks, Nazis. You're not getting me with that.
Well,
It's always been bad."
I think that they just ripped it off from that, but it was, I think before that it existed for different reasons, right? It wasn't a swastika.
Well,
it
probably
was some,
everything did,
yeah,
right?
But
Like even the cross, it didn't have. At one point in time, it was just two sticks laying on top of each other.
But if say you had some 18, we're talking about like pre-1900s, like some rug with that swastika on it, but it was an ancient Chinese art. You know what I'm saying? So you're like, well, this is before even Germany, the Nazis existed, but still that symbol has been made to be the swastika,
Correct.
so
Right.
you can't display
Yeah.
it. So that's my argument.
Is that why you have two rugs rolled up in your house and your wife will not throw out?
I'm just saying,
What's
like
going on over there?
She won't throw them out.
things.
She loves old things that used to be something good,
Like-
but then became bad.
Even though if the intent's not racist, it takes on like people will think that, and then therefore. Like,
Not worth the trouble.
Not exactly.
Yes.
Then,
I agree.
And then her nostalgia keeps her from throwing this garbage away, and that's why it's a mental illness to me. Like why?
That totally makes sense.
Why?
To me.
Why?
Mild hoarding.
Why do
problems,
people get so nostalgic over things? And then Crystal yells at me that I'm not a real human, and so
Well,
everybody
that
else.
is also correct.
That's true.
Everybody
Yeah.
else gets nostalgic over
You're
things.
not a real human. She's too real of a human.
I think maybe if it was like a one of a kind thing, I'd be like, yeah, you could be sentimental. But it's like that Louis Armstrong doll.
We need a story.
Millions
like-
of them exist.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Well, it was,
Like,
it was in her grandparents' house
Right.
since she was a kid, and then she's got memories of it always being there. Same thing with the French witch. Like they're still sitting in my garage.
Put the Louis Armstrong doll in your bedroom. Then
Put the
it away in your
Louis
bedroom.
Armstrong doll in the lap of the French witch.
That
And
seems
display
racist.
that in the center of the house. Build the entire house around it like a mummy tomb. But French witch is holding a slight. And let's just say, let me point something out about this Louis Armstrong doll. This isn't a Louis Armstrong doll where you look at it and you go, "That's Louis Armstrong." It's a Louis Armstrong doll where they have made him in a butler body with a big fat bobblehead head.
And big teeth.
Yeah, it's a little exaggerated. It's like a
Yes.
caricature.
That's what I said. Yeah,
It's a caricature of him and make him look like sort of a buffoon.
But she said everybody,
she's
like
right.
the series that came out, they're all bobblehead style,
They are.
and it was a character of all of them.
Yeah, it is. That's
and,
true.
Like,
Dean Martin, Bing Crosby.
yeah, all the whatever.
Yes, but
Mel
in
Torme.
history, a lot of people made art like that, specifically targeting black people.
I know. That's what I
and not white
He
people.
said-
So
yeah.
that's why it's
He
different.
said all this. He's
yeah.
on our side.
Just
He's
saying.
with us. He's with us.
But I don't want it in the house. It's just
I
like
do
it's,
want it in the
my
house.
grandma's, and it's just like it's not the intent. I'm like, this is not racist.
I want the French witch holding him. I will not stop until I get that.
Like a baby.
Yeah, like a babe. Let's wrap Louis Armstrong in swaddling clothes like Jesus and have him hold
And
it.
she could be Mary.
Dude, let's do a living nativity.
Nativity scene in front in his meadow.
Living nativity in next year for Christmas. Living
Yes.
nativity. It's French witch holding baby Jesus Louis Armstrong, and he's singing. I'll rig it so he's continuously singing, and then I'll be one of the wise men. You can be a wise man. You can be Mary.
The French witch is Mary.
Oh yeah, you're right. You
Yeah.
can be. Were there any other ladies there? You can be an angel. You can be like
All
Gabriel.
right.
Gabriel the angel over the top of the what is that? It was a barn, right? Jesus was born. There was
Yes.
an ox, and then there was a cow, and there were 3 wise men, and then the shepherds
I'll
came.
be the heifer.
No, you're too skinny for that.
Next email.
Hey Dan, I heard you mention on ACT that you've been listening to jazz lately, and I know of a band that you would love. They're called The Comet is Coming, so check them out if you haven't heard of them. Totally up your alley.
The comet is coming.
The Comet is Coming.
The name
Hashtag
is-
don't look up,
the
right?
name- yeah, I was gonna say the name's kind of sad.
How do you find new music nowadays?
Spotify.
Is it?
Or word of mouth.
You know what I've been doing a lot lately? Believe it or not?
concerts.
I've been doing a lot of Apple Music Radio. They have a live radio channel with a lot of weird shows on it, but they're always showcasing new music. So if I'm like rendering a video or
Is it
something,
curated by like the host?
yeah,
Okay.
like Matt Wilkinson is one of the hosts. They've got Jade, who used to be in town.
Yep.
She's on Apple Hits, which is more like a little bit more approachable, not new music, but like stuff you like. But Jade Donovan, I think we're going to talk to her soon, hopefully for a weird job. But she's working for Apple Music, and her show's really good. Those shows are good. Andrea and I don't think it's that we like radio so much as I sort of like hearing what other people want to share with me. So it's
Yeah.
not a love for radio. I had to figure it out one day because I was like, man, it's not the radio aspect of it at all. It's just,
Yeah.
I like it when somebody says, hey, have you heard this? And then they play it for me. Like, I'm kind of like,
And
okay.
sometimes they'll give you a little background.
Yeah, I like that. I'm a sucker for that.
Yeah.
And Matt Wilkinson, I usually catch him in the mornings. It's usually like 7 a.m. to like 9 a.m. And I'll put him on in here while I'm just kind of walking around and stuff.
The idea of a person curating music that they like, and especially if they have experience in the music industry,
Angel
or
does
have-
that
have
with
certain-
What the Hell is Angel Listening to?
and they present it to you, is a good idea that should always last. Like, I think people think because we make a lot of jokes about radio that we're saying that premise or everything that gets played on
no,
radio
just
is
the corporate aspect, the BS.
But it's also how it's distributed. Everybody's listening through streaming. You know what I'm saying? Like iHeart is probably, morphing into streaming and getting away
is.
from the AM, FM way to distribute their products,
Sure.
right?
What would be
Like,
your
that's what's
top
happening.
5 songs you would put on your playlist, Tom?
That's going to be hard for him.
I know, that's
Because
why.
sometimes he surprises
We
me.
know
like,
fun.
You know what's
We're-
weird? Sometimes he'll surprise me with some song that I never knew he liked, and then he'll like know all the words to it.
I know
Like-
all
like,
the
you know what?
words to American Pie. Is
Don
it,
McLean?
Bye Bye Miss American Pie. What's that song called? Is it called Bye Bye Miss American Pie?
A long,
Yeah, yeah.
long time ago.
Yeah, yeah.
That's Don McLean, right?
Yes.
I know all the words of that.
You also know a
That is
lot of
surprising.
right, and then he'll go, "Look, I know Don McLean. I know every Wu-Tang song." That's it. And I'm like, "What?
I
You know
do
Don
know-
McLean and Wu-Tang?
And that
you
song
are-
is like that song's like 8 minutes
This
long.
guy's you talk about everybody's gonna say Daniel's a crazy one. No, if your only musical
I don't know the
knowledge
extended
is Don
version.
McLean and Wu-Tang, then you're a weirdo.
NWA. I know a lot of NWA and a lot of Lagwagon, No Effects.
Well, I support that because I know
yeah,
those
like
two.
a lot of punk rock and Wu Tang.
Okay, what about
But
you? Sam?
only from the anything from the '90s.
Just
hip hop
listen to
and
semantics. We do a music question every show.
Do you have a top 5 that you would throw on
Top
there?
5? I don't know. That's a hard question. I'd have
And
to
where
sit
do you
think
find
about
new
it, 'cause I
music?
listen to a lot of music. I check out bands that I listen to on Spotify, and then I'll just put on their channel's radio, and then it'll have similar artists.
Right.
Also going to shows, I found a lot of new bands, like opening bands that are opening for the headliner I'm going to see. So that's always a fun way, because it is interesting to find a new band when you see them live.
That's
I
my
feel
favorite
like
way.
it's better that way, because sometimes you'll listen to something on Spotify or wherever you listen to your music and it doesn't sound good, but then you'll see them live and you're like, wow, this is really good.
Right, I agree.
Over the summer, me and Crystal listened to a lot of Cashed Out because
I like Cashed Out.
It's very chill
Yeah.
music.
When-
Yeah.
when we were
So
in the pool,
accessible. Positive,
yeah.
positive messages. You can leave it on for kids. Normally, he's going to be talking about keeping a positive vibe and not letting your troubles get you down. I'm like, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially during COVID. Jesus.
I mean, there is the Weed Man song with my boys.
There's a lot of weed in the songs,
yeah.
but, they
never
don't
ask-
know.
Yeah,
May never says anything about that.
They never say like, "Hey, what's weed?" They don't listen to the lyrics.
Although
They're
she
just like
did-
their daddy.
One day,
I know.
one day she did say, she's like, your eyes are really irritated. I was like,
She used the word irritated?
yeah. And I'm like, yes, because I talk about allergies. And I'm like, yes, they are.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say. I don't know how to.
I wonder, like, when I should move my weed drawer because
Where is it?
It's in the bathroom.
Mine's in the like where you get forks and knives in the kitchen. It's like right up.
And there's
Do your kids go in your bathroom?
Yeah. They primarily shower in our bathroom.
So they can see soapy butt?
Dude, how does you? Man, you're.
I don't know what's
He's
going on.
Well, we got
living
the
the
bigger
dream.
shower.
No, but you're living the dream.
But
You're-
they're tiny.
No, he's doing
I know,
what I
they're
want though.
spoiled.
Maisie takes her own showers in her own shower.
Right. Why wouldn't you?
Well, I want her
I'd love to have my own shower
I
as a
want my
kid.
child to spend some time with me at some point.
Not in the
no.
shower.
I was like, time to get out, and then I hold the towel, and one by one they come and I dry them.
Do they have little robes?
No, not robes. And then I dry them. I dry their feet. Then they walk.
Each little piggy.
That's sweet.
And then they run off.
Do they wash their legs and feet?
No. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing in there.
You don't even check and see if they're clean?
And they're like, I want my Pokemon card now. And then I have to get the Pokemon deck in my
In the
underwear
shower?
drawer. No, in my underwear drawer. And I'm looking through it.
Wait,
Like
is
it's
your weed in
drugs.
there?
No, that's in the bathroom.
So the weed drawer's in the bathroom. The Pokemon
Where they
drawer
shower,
is
by
in
the
your
way.
underwear.
What if they're hot box in the shower?
There's no flour. It's all pills.
Oh my god!
They're eating
like
gummies.
Like Whitney Houston over
they
here.
don't. They don't. They're like me. They're not curious about anything. They don't look
Damn
in the
it.
drawers. They don't. They don't ask any questions. They just go about their life. Like if I can take their toys and they're like anything they want, they'll never notice it's gone. That's the advantage of having your own kids. Is
That's
that
fantastic.
They're like I know myself, and so like it. All their Christmas presents were in the garage, just stacked in Amazon boxes. They never asked one question.
Oh god, no!
about-
Maisie was digging
about
through
what's
everything
that
in the
or whatever.
house. She's
They're-
going through the entire house, gutting it.
Yeah, like there's a wrapping paper. Like my wife had wrapped the paper from the Santa gifts in different like wrapping paper.
You're supposed
Like,
to do
the
that,
thing.
yeah.
That's
They-
so weird to me.
And I was like, my sons will never notice. Like,
No.
like they.
I did when
They-
I was a kid. Yeah, I noticed that kind of stuff.
That's why they do it. Like,
Yeah,
it was
Maisie's
Christmas,
like
like, we're
me,
gonna
yeah.
wrap it different so that Santa has different.
Well, she's
paper.
like that. She's wrapping it as if she were the child.
Yeah.
I wrap as if I were the child. Me and Crystal would notice that.
I'm not joking.
She's super aware. I got a little bit of that. Not
When
even
did people start doing that, where they separated presents from Santa and parents?
When did they never? Like I always remember that. So I've got a full. I've got 45
Yeah,
years.
when
of
I was
having
growing
that.
up, there was Santa's
I
presents.
don't know that I
and-
knew anybody that did that.
And then there's this new thing.
My
where
mom was
wife,
a teacher though too, so a lot of like teachers have a knack like male and female teachers. I think they almost like download more of that like kitschy fun kind of a. Like my mom had the teacher fun stuff, right? So like, yeah, of course Santa wrapped different gifts in different paper, of course.
Oh,
Yeah,
That's
but
what you
I
do.
didn't realize. I felt like that's a new trend that parents are taking
probably
credit
is, yeah.
for presents instead of Santa.
Well, okay, there's
yeah,
there's this
we
new
don't do
trend.
that.
There's this new trend, but it's not for the credit; it's for the shame. And my wife explained, she's like, we have to because we got them hoverboards or whatever and they're like expensive, like 2 hoverboard, whatever, it was like $500.
Yeah, they're not cheap.
With the go-kart attachment. Anyway, Crystal's like, we gotta have those presents come from us because if they come from Santa, you can't. It's a faux pas because then other kids, they can't afford expensive presents, are gonna wonder why some kids got expensive presents.
I don't
my
tailor
God.
my.
I was like,
I
what?
don't tailor my
Wow.
Santa for other people. No.
Yeah, but I'm like, that's because my sons were better behaved. The poor ones are worse behaved.
Yeah, well, Santa has a budget and he has to pick
I was
favorites.
very well behaved. How dare you?
Santa has to pick favorites.
I didn't get coal though.
But then I liked it because I was like, I want my sons to know it came from me. It was like the Kenny Powers joke where I thank me for this meal because I bought
yeah,
this.
exactly.
I mess up everything. I'm in the bathroom this morning putting my deodorant on, and Maisie's like, "That smells really good." She's like, "Santa got you that." I was like, "Oh yeah, I thought Mom got me that." Like I don't remember nothing. I don't know who got me nothing. Like I got a Britney Spears shirt to replace the one that I have with a hole in the pit, and I mistakenly said like, "Oh, we got to return this because it's too big. It was a large, and I need a medium now." And I was like, "Oh, we got to return this. You got the receipt, right?" And then Andrea's like, like, "Oh my God, what you bitch of the receipt?" I was like, "Maisie doesn't know that we need a receipt."
Yeah. But no,
And I'm getting worn out for it, and I'm like, "Well, I want to wear the shirt. I like the
I'm
shirt."
so glad I don't have kids. All the secrets and lies.
Yeah, you don't want to lie.
But the problem is I think like the Andreas and the Crystals, they spend more time with like trying to like hold on to the whole
magic of
make
the
it
childhood,
perfect.
yeah.
Which is great because they
But
only
don't
have,
drive yourself nuts about it.
I know, but that's what I tell them. I'm like, they're not putting 2 and 2 together. Like you're trying to
Those
cover
kids
your
don't
tracks
know.
like you're a GD serial killer. Like we're like, oh no, the DNA's on the present. I was like, my son's literally the last person they picked up. They're like, who's this from? And then Chris was like, it has the Santa paper. Like they never put.
Don't even know.
And I'm like, see, you waste like all that extra effort for nothing. Anyway, bye. Welcome back to A Corporate Time. So, what's up with the Volusia County Mall?
What's up with that? What's up with that?
Best
I like
part of
that.
what's up with that? Sudeikis dancing in the background in his 3-stripe Adidas tracksuit. Okay, we were talking about Taco Bell. Tom and I were trying to out-trash each other. He says the only way you can out-trash me is through food. He might be right,
Yeah, well,
but
yeah,
I'll
yeah.
still fight this all year. This is going to be our new fight. Is who's the trashier dad? I think that's going to be the theme of 2022. It's a trashy year.
Well,
2 trashy dads. 22.
The
Emmett
only-
Smiths rolling on 22s. 2
Two
trashy
trashy
dads.
dudes.
2 trashy dads. We're
Now,
the trash dads.
The only trashy thing you do, I still contend, is all the food stuff. The Hooters, the Taco Bell, the eating inside
Some of my
McDonald's.
clothing is a little. I wear trashier clothing than you do. I feel like you.
I don't know.
No, he wears
He has holes
boring.
and stains.
I have holes and stains, ma'am.
You guys are pretty equal in the clothing department.
But I'm like I wear like
You have more variety than Tom does.
I match. I wear fun things. I think out of everybody
Yeah.
on the show,
You
me
wear, like-
and Sam are the 2 most stylish.
Well, Sam, you wear
No, sir. I wear. I mean, to the untrained
tie-dye
eye,
stuff. Tie-dye.
It's very in.
Tie-dye's
right?
back.
Very
Is
in.
in?
It's
Yeah,
very
oh,
in.
yeah.
No, that's trashy.
It is trashy.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
It's like tie-dye shirts are always too big for you.
Not mine. Mine fits. My
No,
daughter made it for
it's
me.
big.
No, my sweatshirt, my Run the Jewels sweatshirt is too big. The pink one I wore, that thing, I don't know what to do with it. It's way too big now. And now when I wear it, who do you think? I look like Billie Eilish's little brother. I'm dressed like her, right? With a big baggy sweatshirt. Do you know how ample she is up top?
Oh yeah, that's why she
I
wore them.
had no idea. I had no idea.
She
And
didn't want perverted old men talking about her boobs.
Makes sense. I get it now.
Which I did at Aldi the other day. I wore a hoodie over my tank top because I didn't want dirty old men talking to me. Still happened.
Yeah,
Still
well,
happened.
I don't know if you know this, but
What'd they
I
say?
like big boobs with a hoodie on them. Hoodie
My
boobs.
husband said I can't cover them up even with a hoodie.
They're too good. But anyway, we're talking about trashy food. I was talking about Taco Bell. My daughter's favorite restaurant is Taco Bell over anybody. Over Linda's La Cantina, Shula's. You can take her to Charlie's Steak. You name it. Del Frisco's, Gringo's. And even over a sponsor, Gringo's my favorite. She'll
Yeah.
take Taco Bell all day long. And then it reminded me, as a kid, I would get so excited. And tell me if you had these type of restaurants as a kid where you remember going, there was only one place to go, and that place is gone. And I don't think this is around anymore. But, Sam, you can probably Google this to see if
Okay.
there's some folklore, some more information about it. But there was a place in the Volusia Mall in Daytona Beach called Taco Viva. Taco Viva.
Okay.
Taco Viva.
And me and my father, now believe it or not, my dad would eat at Taco Viva.
Still around.
No, it
Yeah.
is not.
Is it in the mall?
You're going to have to travel to Fort Lauderdale. But
I would drive to Fort Lauderdale to see if I could
Let's
get
see.
just
Hold
a
on, there's
little bit
more.
of nostalgia.
there's actually quite a bit.
Taco Viva. So
I've
Taco
never heard of
Viva
this.
was in the Volusia Mall, and I'm going to describe it for you. Remember when taco restaurants
It's still there.
in the Volusia Mall?
Yes. 1700 Volusia Avenue, Volusia Mall.
Oh, there it is. Oh, it's still there.
I'm going. Dude, I'm going. I'm going to do that this weekend.
Unless they have not updated their website.
That's a possibility.
Yeah,
I thought
that
they
is a
I thought
possibility.
they had closed down years
Look,
ago.
I'm going to look at the Volusia Mall directory.
I didn't even know there was a Volusia Mall still.
Right?
Okay, so Taco Viva, remember when taco restaurants weren't like neon colors or purple? Like Taco Bell made it like where it's purple. It used to be that every taco restaurant in the, I'm 45.
Santa Fe.
Yeah, it was
I don't think they've updated their
Yeah.
website because the Volusia Mall website doesn't have it listed.
Yeah, it was very much a Santa Fe scenario.
Yeah. A lot of browns.
A
and
lot of browns
maroons,
and maroons.
burgundy.
Yeah, burgundies, a burnt orange, if you will,
Yeah.
a sienna, if you will. And you'd walk in, and then it had like remember the chairs that were bolted down that would swivel? Burger King had a ton of them.
Yeah.
Taco Bell did
Plastic,
too. Yeah.
molded.
Yeah, Yeah, so Taco Viva had the plastic molded swivel chairs. They turned left and right. And then you'd get in the line, and it was brown metal stanchions, and you'd walk through, and you'd order. But they had something that nobody else had. They were the first place that I ever encountered a sauce bar, where behind you, they had the big metal tins with the big pump with the black thing on the top and the tube that comes out.
Little paper cup.
Little paper cups, and you would get there, went from mild to wild. You had all the taco sauces. And I swear to God, I loved it. There was another restaurant in the Volusia Mall I'll put in the same category. I think this one is still there. It's called Mr. Dunderbox. And it was a German deli. And you would go in there, and then the whole thing looked like an old man's closet. The whole restaurant just looked like an old man's closet.
Bro.
Up in the rafters, there's just hats.
I know what
and
I'm getting you for your
steins
birthday.
hanging everywhere, and like aprons, and like old.
Was it a restaurant or
it was a
it
restaurant.
in the food court?
No, it was
Okay.
it was in like what a sports store would be, like a Billy Sports or Champs or Lids. It could have been in Lids. And it was so up in the rafters they'd have like old pennants and like tapestries and like think Hollabox, but if Hollabox took all the German stuff and just stuck it up in the roof.
Yeah.
Flags and hats and then they'd have wheels, and then they'd have like big things of meat and wheels of cheese, and you'd go in there and you'd order like a pumpernickel, your roast beef on pumpernickel with true mustard, true German mustards, and a German pickle, and it'd be like real deli foods.
All right, this is where the show ends, guys. This is where the battle happens between Tom and Dan. So TacoViva.com is still active, but it's basically a history of Taco Viva. There is no longer any Taco Viva locations.
Oh, damn.
The first one opened in 1968 in Fort Lauderdale. Eventually, in 1989, it was sold to Miami Subs, who converted many of their locations into Miami Subs.
You ruined
You took over Taco Viva.
You bastard.
And the
You
last
killed
location
my
of Taco Viva closed in 2005.
Man, Taco Viva was good. I remember
You can
enjoying.
get a Taco Viva shirt on Etsy.
I'm gonna do that. I remember enjoying their tacos a lot, and it was probably just because I was a kid and it was all trash. But I'll tell you, the sandwiches at Mr. Dunderbox and going there, it had a particular smell. There was like a deli smell. And when you walked in, you just got like, it started kicking endorphins in, man. Like you'd walk in, you'd be like, because I'd always go at Christmas time when we were at Christmas shopping. So you'd walk into Mr. Dunderbox. There's another version of Mr. Dunderbox. It's called something else, though.
There's a Mr. Dunderbox in Daytona, and there's a Mr. Dunderbox Beer Garden and Brewery in Tampa.
Okay, I think Dunderbox is the local version of... There's another version of this. This was a thing in mall culture where all malls had a little German deli stuck in, like it was a Lids, but it's like the same size as a
actual
Lids,
store,
but
yeah.
it's a little German deli. All malls had it, and it was either Dunderbox and there was another name for it, like Mr. Germany or like or Pooperhoffens or something. It was something like a German name. I can't remember what it was, but it was like type in mall German deli and see if another name pops up. Somebody knows out there. I know they do.
So obviously we have done Mallcast, and the last one we did, we walked through, and there was a lot of
I'm a mall
stores
guy.
that turned into like basically what a bunch of trinkets, like dollar store kind of deal. Like someone bought a container full of stuff from China and is selling it in a store in the mall.
Yeah.
And what is it now? When's the last time any of you have been to or inside a mall and walked around?
Well, Oviedo Mall I went to after I went to Oviedo Brewing once.
Is there stores that are like, abandoned or like, with the gates down and stuff?
Yeah, half of them, yeah.
I just want to know if there's any malls that are thriving.
Florida Mall, Millennium Mall, both thriving.
Because tourists, right?
Yes.
And Millennium Mall because of...
Also tourists, but rich people too.
Gotcha.
Yeah, like when you walk into like Florida Mall, like it blows your mind because you're like, I am in 2010 or 05. Like it feels like it's going.
Well, the tourists need someplace to buy their Nike Shox. That when I worked there at Florida Mall, it was just
And Michael Kors.
an endless
Michael
army
Kors.
of Brazilian tourists buying whatever they could to go back to Brazil.
I wish I knew the name of that other German restaurant.
Yeah, I've not seen anything other than there's a Helga's German restaurant in
No,
Delhi.
these seem like in Dunderbox even. I think Mr. Dunderbox is a chain, correct?
Yes.
And then
I had never heard of that.
you'd never.
I have
that's
never
why I'm
heard of
saying
Mr.
I
Dunderbox.
believe that there's a competitor to Mr. Dunderbox that is another German name. Here's how you would know. If you're walking in the mall, you'd look and there'd be like a yellow banner, like almost like a yellow banner storefront, like that would hang over an entrance.
Yeah.
And it was all yellow, and it would just say Mr. Dunderbox. But there's another one, and I can't remember the name. It doesn't matter.
Backhouse, Germany, bakery and deli? No.
Do you remember in
Dunderbox is like the only thing popping up for the mall.
In malls, and this, maybe in the 90s when I was a kid, that every so often there would be a round circle. I think we talked about this before. That's like 2 steps deep in like the middle of like basically where like old dads sit to wait for their wives, like basically there's stores on both sides, and in the middle there's kiosks and things like that.
Yeah.
And like every
jewelry cleaners,
let's say 100 feet, there would be a round indentation. This was in Kindle Mall or where would it be? What's the mall down in Miami?
No idea.
Jade City?
Dadeland.
I don't think it's
Dadeland
important.
Mall?
It was on Dadeland Mall, and there was a round circle that was 2 steps deep that was carpeted with brown carpet, and it was the kids' play area.
Oh, yeah. Like
There was just a circle that was like had 2 steps, and then the circle in the middle carpeted with the brown, and that was for kids to play in.
Somebody should document. Somebody already is, I bet. There should be a website that documents sad mall playgrounds because they're weird. Because what they would do is they just put a concrete installation, and then they would just carpet it and be like, they'll climb on it.
Yeah. Like, I wonder why the 2-step indentation circle. Why did they determine that was the best, most efficient thing to
It's
use?
sensory, right? They're jumping off of it or whatever. Like, I don't know.
You think that
Also, like, this is not a walking space. This is a sitting space.
Yeah, but it was like, imagine, like, it's 2 steps, so it was indented into the floor.
Yeah.
It's just weird why they chose that particular architecture for, because you
Mall
could put
architecture's weird, dude.
you could put a cheap, like a play area that, or
With like a baby gate around
maybe
it.
you could
put
that's
a
the
nice
safest.
swing set in there if you wanted to. I mean,
Maybe with lawsuits, they were like, this
But
is
they
like,
put weird
I don't
stuff in
know.
there. Like, for instance, I don't know if it's Florida Mall, but there's one mall that has a enormous, like, giant size waffle you can climb on. Have you seen that?
A waffle?
Yeah, like a waffle, and then like fake syrup that's coming off
No,
of it,
I don't
and
know
then
about
butter
that.
pats you can climb on. I think it's Florida Mall. And there's like food, and there's like a big bacon strip you can climb on. They do weird things, like this mall over here, Fashion Square, used to have a hologram from the Orlando Magic that would shoot down basketballs on the ground, and then if you touch them, they'd move. It was like a light projector.
Yeah. Like they have installations,
Little gimmicks
where
and
like
things.
they have art stuff and things that they bring in for kids to play with or whatever to
Yeah.
draw. I guess keep people there longer.
But
It's
my
like a casino.
favorite, my absolute favorite, and there's less than a 1 year window on these. I want to say this ran hot for 9 months. Were the padded and completely covered in cloth rideable stuffed animal.
Yes.
Like, have you?
Oh yeah, we rode some. With
Oh,
my
you
son,
out
though.
trashed me then.
Yeah. Well, we rented them, rode them with Tommy. I don't think Max was even born yet, but I think that was the last time that they set foot in a mall.
Those things were great. I was a big fan of those.
I think they're still around at certain trashy malls.
The reason I like them is
yeah.
because you could ride them straight down an escalator and kill yourself.
What are the malls? The ones that don't survive. What are they going to turn into? Are they going to make it into housing?
Housing is one of the things people have been kicking around. Yeah.
I know that they've already started building like townhouses on the parking lot property of what's this mall up here? Is
Fashion
it
Square?
Fashion
Yeah.
Square.
And
Rumor is for Fashion Square, they're going to make it outdoor. They're going to just kind of level it and then use the space if you want to have
almost like an outlet mall.
kind of like a Waterford Lakes. Here in town, there's a place called Waterford Lakes where it's kind of mall, but it's
a
like
plaza.
outdoor.
It's a shopping plaza.
But it's huge.
Yeah, that's
You
over
know?
by my house.
Yeah, there's like 6 different mega
It's also a
plazas.
nightmare to drive through.
Yeah, I
Those
kind of hate
parking
it.
lots and everything.
I
it's a
kind of hate
nightmare.
it. Yeah, I kind of hate it.
And then you put some restaurants in there, and then the stores,
Movie theater.
the stores,
Put a BJ's Brew House in there.
Get a Pizookie.
yeah. And then you'll have your Five Below, and any store that's still surviving
Yeah.
because
Bed
the
Bath &
internet.
Beyond will be there.
Yeah, internet hasn't killed it. So,
God,
you know,
I have to apologize again
There's
to
a-
you today. And yesterday,
Lowe's.
Sam and I were here. You went to work out. I had ordered something an hour earlier. An hour earlier. And the door knock at the door, and my soap dispenser showed up an hour after I ordered it. An
Oh,
hour.
yeah.
I have to apologize to you again. You're right. I couldn't have gone to Home Depot and bought a soap dispenser, come back here, mounted it on the wall. I did all of it. I did that and the installation in an hour and 15 minutes. It's insane how quickly you can get products to your house. It blows my mind, dumb old man.
I wonder what the future incarnation of the delivery. I know that, that seemed like they were just doing it to kind of troll and to advertise with the whole drone thing.
They have them in Canada. They have robots that will deliver you like snacks and stuff.
Snack
instead
robots?
of like Uber Eats, it's a robot.
Snackbot?
Is it drone or is it a drivable robot?
It's a drivable robot.
That's
Okay.
even better.
Okay,
He
what-
drives
also,
up.
Chili's has robot servers now. Have you seen that video going around?
No.
You could probably find it if you Google it.
right.
They have little robots that'll bring your 2-for-1s out.
So you order them at your table and they just bring it to
Yeah.
you. Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, every restaurant would rather have a robot than a human employee. It was just so much easier.
Well, a robot won't spit in your tacos.
Well, just for the business itself, you don't have to hire someone, depend on them to show up. It's just there all the time. But that's where it's all going, right?
Yeah.
It's got to.
Oh, man, people
We'll
hating
get
on the
there
Chili's
eventually.
robot. I found it on TikTok.
Well, you're already
It's-
at Chili's.
Have you been to Chili's?
No.
It's horrible.
You're an Applebee's man, right?
Well, recently, I used to love Chili's. 2-for-1 margarita.
It was your
whatever.
favorite thing in the world.
Southwest egg rolls.
Yeah.
I was
How
also
can you go wrong?
trashier Deltona back then. But still,
Right.
but it is
I
gone.
like Applebee's, too. It's the only thing you
Dude.
and I ever had in common with trash is Applebee's.
I went to the Chili's near UCF,
Oh.
and it is dilapidated. It's a
I had a
bad.
girl break up with me at that Chili's.
Yeah. It's just currently, I think, because of Corona and the lack of employees and disrepair, like it's real bad.
You know, I had a I'll tell this story. It's sad. I had a manager freak out on me for no reason at a Chick-fil-A when I was getting a sandwich, and I think he was having a midlife. I think he was having a freak out, and I've never had this happen to me before. So I wanted a chicken biscuit, and so I go to the Chick-fil-A, and the line outside is just way too long.
Yeah, they're too. I mean, that's
just too
probably
long.
The employees at Chick-fil-A have to hate their lives, right? Because they're the busiest fast food.
It's crazy.
There's no break.
It's always
Like
on.
when you work there.
I don't know. They got options. They could go anywhere else if they
That's
hated
true.
it that much.
That's true.
So
Yeah, I guess it is
you
true.
get
but
Sundays off.
But so I'm at the
You
Chick-fil-A.
get paid pretty well.
and
Everyone's
it's-
pretty nice to Chick-fil-A people because the
they're
Chick-fil-A
nice.
people are nice.
Yeah, they're nice, so I'm nice. But like,
now, but there's a while where they're like, "You hate the game," you're
Yeah,
screaming
yeah,
at them,
yeah,
and the
yeah.
person's just like, "I'm just
And
here
you'll get-
trying to."
I
Or get
hide
an
my
a-hole
bag.
every once in
I
a
hide
while.
my bag. I put it in. If I get Chick-fil-A, I cup the drink so people don't see the logo, and then I put the bag in my bag so they don't judge me. But I want my biscuit, so I want to get my biscuit, and I don't want to get in the line because the line's too long, right? So I park my car, and I'm gonna do an Andrea because my wife is real big about like if it's not that much of an inconvenience, I'll just go inside, circumvent the long line, be twice as fast as ever, right? I'm gonna be twice as fast.
Yeah.
So I park my car and I go inside the Chick-fil-A. I got my mask on. I go inside the Chick-fil-A. The manager of the Chick-fil-A, like as I walk in, he runs up. I swear to God, he runs up to me and he goes, "I just can't do it. I don't have enough people. I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry. I just can't do it. I don't have enough people, and I've had 2 heart attacks. I just can't do this." He takes his mask off and then he just walks for the bathroom and just starts splashing water in his face.
Yeah,
Wow.
he's freaking out because he's got no employees, just like every other fast food
losing
place.
it. He was losing his mind.
Yeah, and they're busier than ever. So
But he did tell me
I
God
gotta-
loves me as when he came back, after he recovered. He came back after splashing water in his face, looked like a whole new man. Does that
Man,
work? Does the splashing
Could you
the water in the face,
imagine-
does that work?
Eh,
Could you
I'm gonna try
imagine?
that.
I mean, maybe it's not that horrible, but I just assume it is. Being a manager of a Chick-fil-A, what a horrible.
I
job
wouldn't want
that
to be a
is.
manager of any food
No,
industry.
I know.
I don't like
Yeah.
managing here.
No, I mean, but could you imagine how horrible that is? Like your day to day.
The worst thing, though, the worst thing for
None
me,
of your like you don't have enough employees.
I can handle all
The
that.
ones you have,
That's not my fault. I can
never
handle
show
all that.
up.
The thing I could not
Everybody's
handle.
mad as hell at you all the time.
I can
People are
handle-
constantly complaining.
no big deal. Could
Oh.
handle all that. There's only one thing that would bother me. Every night when I go to bed, I would smell like fried chicken.
like
that grease smell.
It's
that,
hard.
Like,
yeah,
that smell in your clothes. Like even Chick-fil-A, you get it in your car and you go home. It lingers in your automobile for like 3 days, right?
Yeah, imagine being in the store for 8 hours.
You become a Chick-fil-A.
Yeah,
I think so.
I mean, that's a rough.
It's a rough
gig.
go.
Like, I mean, if working there is one thing because you're like, what do I care? I just go and do my job that I'll do my.
You know what? Put that on the list, Sam. I want to talk to somebody who's worked at Chick-fil-A.
Okay.
Because I want to know the inner workings of Chicken Church.
Well,
I want to get down in it.
Cactus Steve, I don't know if he still works there, but him and his wife worked at Chick-fil-A.
I think they're still there.
Are they?
And they may be managers.
He's too busy getting mad at the virus. He can't tell me anything. That guy's out of control.
He's mad at the virus.
He is so mad at the virus.
Yeah. That's fine. I mean, I'm not mad at the virus.
Yeah,
I'm not
either,
too. I
but,
just don't. I just assume everybody is.
Yeah.
I don't feel the need to tell people.
Yeah, you're preaching to the choir, bro.
Yeah. It's like when people post on their Facebook, they're like F cancer. And then I'm like, yes.
Now
I'm
you
like,
get it. This guy gets it.
Yeah. Like, I already assumed you hated cancer. I assumed everybody did.
Right.
Like, no need to say it. We all, and I understand they're just expressing themselves probably because someone they love got cancer.
Yeah.
But I know, but like someone, everybody loved got cancer. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, no need to say it. We all know it's a universal F cancer.
I'm going to do like a test. On my social media, I'm just going to write cancer. Let's go. What do you think people would say to that, right? What can you say to that? I'm like, cancer, let's go. Everybody's let's go. Everybody.
Yeah,
you Bucks fans are the worst about it with your let's go. Is that your official thing now?
Yes. I don't know.
Well, no, that's.
I feel like every team says let's go.
Yeah, that's the yeah.
No, I think the Bucks. I think it's a Bucks thing. I think you have to give it to the Bucks. I don't like. I see more Bucks people saying it. I think it's yours.
I'll take it. I guess.
I think other
don't
people are
know.
stealing it. You better get on that.
The let's
Ours
go.
is rise up. Ours is rise up. The Falcons are from the
Fire
West.
the cannons.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
I like fire the
Yeah,
cannons.
the Bucks got the best gimmick, the pirate ship and the cannons.
I do like the cannons. I'm a sucker for them, man. I wish they were ours. We got stinky old bird.
I guess.
What could we have? You can't. We have Freddie Falcon. He looks like he's like a child. He's like a cartoon. We don't have anything cool. Our logo's okay. Our colors are good. Black and red. That's very good.
Yeah, I saw Real Sports about they've got the Falcons basically their version of the extreme fans. That they all get together and have a section. And
I thought you were saying something. They all get together and have a sex party.
No, they dress up and there's a section. It's kind of like their supporter group.
That's cool.
I think that's the draw or the gimmick in the Atlanta Falcons stadium is their.
I like Fire the
Cannon.
Cannon. Fire the Cannons is good.
I just got Dolphin Danny, a big fat dad. Just paints his Duke.
Is he still around?
I don't. He may have
think
died.
you've been saying that for a while, and I think he's dead.
Look
up Doll Fan.
Yeah.
Oh, God. If he's still alive this year, we get him on the show. Right?
That was the thing in the 90s. Yeah, he may be back
then.
then.
He's like 65 years old, though.
Yeah.
Died in 2007.
2007? Oh, my God.
Dolphin Danny.
I had a GTI and a faux hawk.
Yeah, but out of all, Jacksonville has the pool that you get in. You know that.
You know what the worst one is? The worst NFL fans, for no other reason other than just looking stupid, are Cleveland Browns, where they have orange construction helmet, floppy dog mask.
Yeah.
You look like an idiot. Oh,
not to talk about football, but man, Cleveland, there was a small run where we've had the best roster.
Dude, Baker Mayfield sucks.
We've got Nick Chubb.
I like watching him run because he has a big donkey butt.
Yeah, which
man, that guy runs fast.
But they had their other running back. I forgot his name, but he was a star. And then they had Odell and Jarvis Landry.
Yeah, they had
and Baker Mayfield.
Landry's still good.
And
Baker Mayfield sucks. He's too short.
And Miles,
that's coming from me. I'm allowed to say that.
Miles, they just had the superstar team, and they're like, "We're here, we're doing it, man." Then it was just nothing like a man.
Now,
that's what I'm a little bit believing a curse.
I will say this though. I will say that we got to get out of here, but I will say this about Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield looks and he acts well. He acts cool. Like he
He's
doesn't.
hated, man.
I know he's hated, but there's a commercial where he has to act with a bunch of moms, and they're like in a neighborhood, and he's like watering the grass.
He's a
and
decent actor.
He's a good actor. He is.
But
he should just go for that and just forget the NFL thing.
Well,
He's too short.
They only use him for commercials because he's an NFL quarterback. As soon as they boot him, which they may soon,
You could do something else.
Yeah, but not the commercials. That's when they're like, well, they don't need you anymore because you're not an NFL quarterback. That's why he's famous.
We're too late, right? We went
We are
too
way
late.
over.
Way
Oh,
over.
bye-bye.
Oh, bye-bye.
Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Hey, get our app. All of our content's on there. It's totally free. We don't talk about it a lot, but we've had an app for over 10 years.
I know, it's crazy. But,
That's insane.
Tony just told me that our BDM page for BDM members only, it just reached its 7-year anniversary.
On
I'm like,
Friday,
7
yeah.
years?
Oh, yeah,
Crazy,
today,
dude.
yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's
7 years on the 7th. What is
Yeah, that means nothing.
That means
I don't
nothing.
believe in anything. But yeah, you can get our app. All of our content's on there. We're live on Twitch right now. A lot of people don't know we are. If you thrive for that live component because it gives you connection or something, we got you covered. Twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live. You can watch us. It's not just live for listening. It's live for watching.
You can get audio only too.
Yep.
I know people, they'll get their Twitch app if they want to listen to us live. Now, if you do listen through Twitch, you'll hear, like, we'll jump around, record shows
We'll
out
change
of order.
guests. We'll go to the bathroom. You hear
Yeah.
us eating chips.
Sometimes we'll record like an OG recap that we do for BDM only.
I
like-
sing during the breaks. Or I drink a BioLite. I brush my mustache.
and we usually start around 10:30. Monday through Friday
Yep.
on Twitch. So it's like, and you'll get a notification that we're recording. So when you get the notification, just hit audio only, and you can listen to the audio only, and then you
For
can listen
hours.
to the breaks and stuff because we just leave it rolling.
Yep, we just let it roll.
So you're getting a little more, but a lot of times it's just us silently looking at our phones.
That's true.
Waiting
There's
for
that. That's true. There is that.
Ah.
But sometimes that's kind of fun.
I'm
like some
surprised-
of my favorite things to look at on adult websites are the girls reading the chat room fully clothed.
Oh yeah,
Where they're just reading and they're like,
Yeah. Oh my God, don't say that. I'm going to ban you. I will ban you. I will.
and I'm sitting there
What
and I'm
is-
watching. I'm like, and I'm just watching. I'm not saying anything.
Okay, this
and they're
is-
like,
Why would you say that? Oh my God. Go private, Chucker69. Go private. $7 more, guys. I'll take this top off.
and
$7.
And I'm just sitting. Well, they already raised like 100, but you know,
gotcha.
or
You gotta meet the goal.
$93. They needed
Yeah.
7 more to pull a boob out.
Okay, let's talk about this because
I have voicemail, so if
Okay,
you,
yeah, but-
like, just go where you're going, buddy. This is your show.
and I think this is going to be, we're going to evolve out of this. So, and there might be only this period of time where this content has gone on because I see a lot of like social media influencers and content providers are able now to do their show and read the chat room simultaneously.
I try to do it, but I'm bad at it. It's
Well,
hard.
you need
I have to do
practice.
a little bit of it, and then I have to look right into your eyes to
yeah,
reset
you'd have
myself.
to have a screen right in front of you like I do. Okay.
Yeah. too hard.
And so they've gotten good at that, and so this may phase out. But there is a chunk of time where a lot of content at the beginning of like web shows and podcasts and stuff are just the hosts or whatever reading one-sided conversations with the chat room and then commenting on single people. And the viewer has no idea what's
Yeah, but
happening. Right?
you have asked-
And I get so frustrated by it because I'm like, what is this content?
But I watch
Why
it.
are you recording it?
I will sit and watch. There's something.
It's weird. Why though? You don't even know what's going on.
Yeah, but I feel like a voyeur. Like I feel like somebody. Like imagine if you had a machine like in Monsters Inc. where you could pull a window or a door from anywhere in the world in and just open it and look in it, right? It's kind of what I'm doing. So I have this weird video of this girl somewhere in the world or this guy, whatever, but there is a voyeuristic aspect to it where I'm trying to figure out, and there is some sort of joy I get in watching it and trying to figure it out.
Okay, I never even because I'm
I'm
like,
like,
what
what
is
is
this
happening right
What's
now?
the content? Because the content is a person reading a chat room and then saying like, just like you're making
Yeah.
fun of it, like, yes, I do like that, and then I'm like, I don't even know what's happening.
Yeah, you
Like,
have to. Yeah.
and
Well,
then,
you'd
like,
have
but
to
is
read
it-
the chat room too.
So I have to be reading the chat room, but they're a lot of times they're responding on stuff that's already scrolling by, especially if they're
you
popular.
gotta be quick, bro.
Well, because and they're like, oh, let's see what's the chat room saying, and then they'll go back and be like, oh yeah, but I'm like, and they're answering half the question without telling us what they. I'm just watching it like, what's the content?
No, I know what you mean. There's another phase, and I want to say like this was years ago when these web type camera show, because everything's going webcam, right? I mean, like just the sex workers have got a leg up because they've been doing it for years, right?
Yeah.
But everybody
has a video component.
Yeah, everybody has like a video
It's
component.
so easy, and it's like, why not?
It really is. And so, like, I remember you'd be watching these girls, and they'd like, especially the sex workers, you'd be watching them on the, I guess, what is that called? Like a campsite. Mm-hmm. And you're watching it, and then the girl's like, yeah. And then automatically she goes, she's in private now. Like, she'd be in mid-sentence, and then she'd go private.
Yeah. Well, that I understand.
Like,
because
She don't have to tell you where she's going.
But that I understand.
She got her coin.
It would be polite if she would say,
knows
hey,
you'll
guys,
come back the next day.
I got enough coin. I will be going private. I just like a little courtesy.
Well, that
Jesus.
I understand
You know?
because she is just trying
a
to
jerk.
solicit money
She's
to go.
trying to get you to.
And her content is going to eventually be nudity, and then she's just trying to solicit people to pay for that nudity. So that is totally understandable. But I'm talking about, like, if you have a show, quote unquote, or whatever you're doing, and it's just you
Have
reading.
you ever watched a TikTok live?
Yes, and I am.
It's very much that.
I
Most
know.
of the time, people don't know how to, like, how, if we talk to the chat or whatever on this show, we know we have a listening audience that may not be watching the video, so you have to kind of reference what
You
the
back up
comment
a touch.
is saying.
Yeah. You back up a
And,
touch.
Yeah, on TikTok, it's just like, yeah, no, I don't like that either. And you're like, what are you talking
That's
That's what he's talking
That's
about.
what I get old man mad about.
You get mad about it? All right.
Because
You
I'm
got to
like,
follow the chat. then.
what is it?
I like that.
It's not the content.
Who are you
because-
talking to?
Well, maybe I'm an old school talk radio purist, but I'm just like, if you're listening to talk radio, I want to get comedy out of it or some information or just hear people have a conversation. I want to hear talk. I don't want to hear just half sentences of people responding to a chat room I'm not looking at.
Yeah, but the minute you polish it, though, a little bit. I was watching a video about this yesterday. I was watching a
people
video.
that get good at simultaneously having the conversation, reading the chat room, answering, like, then I understand. I'm like,
Well,
good
no,
for you.
I mean this person. Okay, for you, that's good. But there is the voyeuristic, sneaky aspect of watching it is killed the minute you polish it. The minute you take the production value, or a lot of these shows, like a lot of
And it may be a
TikTokers,
younger
look at the
generation.
production value of a lot of TikTokers and the video content they're putting out. It's garbage, right? It's not good.
Yeah, it's just thrown out there.
If you give them better production values, though, and give them like the best cameras and the graphics and an editor and it just doesn't hit the same.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work.
And I'm falling into, like, old man liked what he liked back in the day, and now it's changing, and then the new generation.
That drives me
likes
crazy,
that, yeah.
too. Nothing drives me more mad than when I see something that the production values are bad, but people are loving it. And I see how simple it could be for them to up the production value. It is very hard for me to choke that down sometimes because I have to force myself to understand that sometimes the fact that it's a little grimier, a little grittier, it's not polished, is helping in its consumption, is pulling people in for some weird way. Like your mind is curated to like the thing that looks more natural and real.
Yeah.
When you see it polished, you're like, what is this corporate garbage that's being fed into my eyeballs? Like, I don't know and I think that's like an instantaneous switch in your brain.
Yeah, where they want the more amateur because it seems more real.
Yeah, it's almost like you put more effort into it, you put more graphics, and you work harder at it, and then you release it, and people are like, this is crap.
So, but my question is, like, and Daniel kind of already answered it, like, you like the voyeuristic aspect of just watching someone do that, but is, like, do people like that content?
If they're watching it, they like it.
But why?
I don't know if that's true, right?
Do they like?
I watch a lot of
Some
stuff I
people
don't
do
like.
hate watch things, yeah.
Well, I don't hate it,
Or
but
are they
I'm
curious by their
curious
just like,
watching, maybe.
Yeah, because like the actual content is nothing because they're not giving me any information.
Like you curious watch a lot of stuff, right? Like you and Sam
for
consume
5 seconds
more TikTok than I do.
Yeah,
I
but like I see that TikTok live, I may click on it and be like, "What's this?" And
What's
then
Big Tim talking about?
And then the person's like, "Yeah," like he's talking to someone, and I'm like, "All right, it's going to keep going." Like it's for 5 seconds.
Oh, you never interact?
No, because I
You don't interact with anything, so I don't know why I asked that, but
maybe I would assume that if it was a popular person on TikTok, my question wouldn't get answered. It's kind of like I don't
You'd be surprised.
enter drawings or whatever, you know, because I'm just like, oh, what's the chances? And I'm like not curious to ask these people anything. So
won a drawing a couple weeks ago. I won
what?
like a Publix. I won like a Publix gift card. I filled out some receipt and then in the mail.
Oh, you got one?
You
Yeah.
filled out the receipt?
I always do.
Really?
I told you. We've talked
He
about
keeps,
this.
yeah, he brings them back.
This
and
is Andrea got me doing
fills
this.
out the surveys.
Yeah.
And then what is it, online?
Yeah.
No, it's just you can submit it online or you can type in the code. Like you get a store code and then they just ask you a couple 3 questions and you hit enter. It's not that hard to win a $20 gift card.
Yeah. I've never even
you could have had a $20 gift card.
every single survey anybody's ever asked me to take, I've never done.
I'll make you real mad. I'll make you real mad. That trial that I talked about months ago, I haven't talked about this on the air. That COVID trial that my wife was in months ago. She was in this very, very, like years ago, I guess, early on when COVID started. They were looking for volunteers to go into the trial to,
for the vaccine,
for
right?
the vaccine.
Yeah.
And so she ended up getting it from me. And then every time they swab her nose, they give her $50 cash.
Yeah.
So like every time she turns in a nose swab to aid in their research, they give her $50. So she's up to like $900 now for getting COVID.
Yeah, that's
It's
what.
insane.
When you're organized and you know things are out there, you could capitalize on it.
She's like that Andrew Lisco guy. Remember the guy that would wear the green suit with all the white question marks all
Yeah.
over it? She's like
There's free money everywhere. All you have to do is just fill out the form.
Yeah.
that weirdo.
Well, your wife's, she's got the upper hand because she's like, literally her genetics is filling out forms because her mom was a sweeper.
You're right.
You know,
That's
It's in the
true,
blood.
yeah.
yeah, there you go.
She was set up for success. in that
That's so
aspect.
funny. That's in the blood. It's like
Yeah, yeah.
natural form filler.
Yeah. It's like Odell Beckham Jr.'s son can catch. Like, I guarantee it. Like if I throw something at him, he'll catch it.
Oh, real quick, because I'll get some voicemail so we can finish up this segment. Where are we at on Antonio Brown?
He's just out there.
What's he
social
doing?
Living
media.
his life.
No, there's
Going
no
crazy,
no
yeah.
more updates.
They haven't officially fired him.
I
don't
know.
think,
I keep waiting
but
for the official fire.
Bruce Arians said he's no longer a part of the Bucks,
Right.
but they haven't made it official because I'm sure every news
Put him on
source.
the Falcons. Why not? Come on.
I can't imagine any other team would ever pick him up now because they would be a laughingstock. Because
We already are. Come on over.
they
Come on over.
They, how are you going to be the coach that picks up the guy that walked off a game in the middle of a game because he was mad like that?
Has anybody else? I know
they'll clown you.
we've talked about this incessantly, but has anybody else done that in any other sport?
Yes, Scottie Pippen, and I
Oh,
remember.
yes!
Remember he got
He walked
mad.
to the locker room.
He walked
right?
out. Yeah, during the middle of the game.
There's got to be more than that. Sam, do a quick search maybe and see.
I'm sure. I've never seen it in the NFL. Now,
never seen it either.
It probably has happened, just not
I
with
thought
that.
Ted Lasso is the only person
Hold on,
I've
I
ever
got
seen
top
do it.
15 athletes who quit during games.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Okay. What
Is it
what do we
like
got?
you have to click
Jose
each-
Reyes.
Baseball.
Yep, baseball. He
Racist.
played 9 seasons with the Mets.
If you give me a name, I can guess what sport.
Wow, no, that's great.
He hit a bunt single in the first inning of a game against the Cincinnati Reds and promptly pulled himself from the game to a very mixed crowd reaction. With that hit, he had a .337057 average on the season. So he just
But did he
he
just-
hit a bunt and then just left.
Why?
Does not say.
I like that.
Did he go to first base or no? He just hit the bunt and then walked
Does,
in.
does not say.
I like all of this.
I'd have to look into
Because-
that. Rory McIlroy.
Oh, I need a golfer.
Yeah.
He quit the tournament. Let's see.
That would have been.
Well, 2012 and 2014 were fantastic years for him. 2013 was a
beast.
disaster. Prior to tying for 25th place at the 2013 Masters, he missed the cut in Abu Dhabi, losing in the opening round of the World Match Play Championship and struggled at the Honda Classic. Starting on the back 9 of the ladder as the defending champion, was 7 over 8 holes and opened the 18th by knocking his second shot into the water. He quit the tournament at this point, later citing a toothache.
So he
Okay,
was
the old
losing, and he
toothache.
just said, "I got
That's some baby stuff.
Yeah.
My ankle hurts.
Yeah.
I got a toothache.
Well, he probably knew he was not going to win it, and then he didn't. He's like, "Screw it, I want to play the rest."
But you say I'm not winning this, and something's off. I'm quitting.
But that's
Why
like
is it-
Well,
that's
then-
like when you're losing at a video game and you throw the
Yeah, yeah.
controller at the TV.
People get
But
mad
I
at
think
quitting.
toothache,
I
I
yell at
think
my son,
toothache
"Never
is worse
quit."
though, because I know you're lying.
Yeah, but at least you could be like, maybe he's telling the truth.
I don't say that though. I don't give you the maybe.
Yeah. Or he's not going to get the backlash if he cites something. By the way, what Antonio Brown claimed was the only thing I could think of that would kind of take the backlash a little bit.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? Like
He
either
didn't want to go, and he was
either
in.
he's brilliant with coming up with excuses, or his
Right.
publicist told him like, "Hey, say this." At least maybe people
that
could be
would
like,
mean he was pre-planning to quit during the game.
God, Norm
Yeah, yeah.
says in our Twitch chat room, twitch.tv/Tom and In Live, Norm says there was an NBA player last year traded while he was in the middle of a game. They benched him the rest of the game. That's blanking horrible. I mean, is it? You still got a job. I mean, you don't have to play. Just sit the bench.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
still getting paid.
Listen, these players don't care where they play. They care about the money. Like if they
I
don't give a
would.
damn what city they're in.
I'd be kind of happy. Where am I
Yeah.
going? You know,
Yeah.
where am I a Pelican now? Where am I now?
Yeah.
Am I going to Orlando?
It's just a business. Like he's like, all right, I'll sit down, and then when I leave here, I'll get in
Yeah,
on
a
my
limo
bus
and- yeah.
or whatever, and then I'll go play somewhere else.
What else
We
you
had
got?
one guy, Claudine Angelo, who's an MMA fighter. He just he straight up quit during the middle of a fight.
Oh, I like that.
Weird for an MMA fighter because you think there's so much machismo and like.
But if
you
your
know,
head's not
with-
right, you could get killed. Right?
True.
If you drop your guard completely down, you're standing there like an idiot, and you're
He
not,
quit basically because his mouth guard kept coming out. So the referee,
toothache.
the referee had to keep like pausing the fight, and then like the third time it happened, he's like, the referee's like, you got to just fight through it, and he like jumped the fence and left.
all right.
I cannot fight without a mouth guard.
Yeah, yeah.
Technically, you're not allowed to. John Kruk, which is another baseball player. They say John Kruk may have been a grimy, overweight, chain-smoking non-Hall of Famer, but he still managed to make a name for himself as a respectable player. That's a rude way
mean.
to announce somebody. On July 30th, 1995, in the middle of his 10th major league season, John Kruk hit a first-inning single for the Chicago White Sox off of Orioles pitcher Scott Erickson. Although he possessed a .308 average that year, he also had a pair of bad knees. He hobbled down the baseline, stood on first, and promptly retired from the game.
Like I have it on first base.
Yes.
Like he's like, I retire. Like what happens? Like do they lose that base runner? Or
Yeah.
Like I
mean,
guess you
Can
can
someone
get,
take his place?
you can get a substitute
designated runner,
You
I
can
guess?
get a substitute runner, right? In baseball, I don't know baseball that well,
No,
but
I
I
don't
think
know how that works.
I think if you get on first base, you could
Baseball
substitute.
is weird because it's the only sport that like you can be a big fat chungus, hit the ball and be
Love
like, I'm
it.
too fat to
Love
run.
it.
I'm gonna have my friend run. I'm
yeah,
only
yeah.
good at hitting.
Yeah, yeah.
Is that really a thing?
I think it is. Yeah, you could get.
How
a
is that
substitute runner.
sporting? Right?
Baseball, they
sport
got
should include
old-ass-
running, though,
Yeah, yeah. It's baseball. They got old timey rules.
Yeah, Kevin Prince Boateng, which is a soccer player, midway through the first half of a match, racist chants. I remember this one.
Oh,
In
I remember
2013,
this too,
racist
yeah.
chants began to rain down on some of the players. It sparked the mass response by picking up the match ball, kicking it into the crowd, removing his jersey, and walking off the field.
And I support that. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's like, I'm out. And I'm like, I don't blame you.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not playing here while people yell the N-word
Yeah,
at me
you know
and
what?
throw bananas on them.
Yeah,
It was
you-
horrible.
Yeah, it was horrible. You are
And
correct, sir.
they
Please
cleaned
leave.
they cleaned a lot of the stuff up after that because
They had to.
because then everybody started standing behind him and that made a change. So that
Yeah.
guy literally
Yeah.
started
He's
a
important.
change, and then they started immediately kicking people out, which
Yeah.
they should have always done.
And you started seeing that everywhere. They even changed it in the video games. Like you'd start playing FIFA, and before you'd start playing FIFA, there'd be a big like, we do not tolerate. It was like a zero tolerance racism policy. Like they are like, we are.
Yeah, yeah.
And then that's when they started installing the cameras in all the stadiums to do the face recognition because people were throwing batteries and pennies and stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
And they
yeah.
were just like banning people left and right.
And it was bad over in like certain parts of Europe too, where that's
Russia's
where,
the worst
yeah,
though.
yeah.
Russia's just
Oh,
hellhole.
this is kind of scary. Bobby Isaac. You guys familiar with this NASCAR driver?
Sounds familiar.
He had 73 NASCAR Sprint Cup Series wins, 170 top 10s, 49 poles, and a place in the 2016 Hall of Fame class, but he famously exited mid-race during the 1973 Talladega 500. Despite holding the lead on lap 90 of the August 12th race, Isaac suddenly pulled into the pit, got out of his car, and quit. He may have been spooked by the death of Larry Smith earlier in the race, but the driver cited voices in his head instead. Isaac allegedly told his car's owner, "I heard a voice tell me to park this thing, and that's exactly what I did."
Really?
I think it was Jesus.
That's weird.
Yeah.
So now I guess all of these.
Has anybody investigated this? That sounds like something for your show.
Yeah, I should look into that.
Right?
One, right?
That sounds like this guy's got some ghost riding with him, or Jesus is his co-pilot.
Or he could be schizophrenic.
Like,
That's true.
You
Could have been drunk.
You pull over and then you just climb out your window of your
I'm
car
done.
and then you just walk into the pits. Less of a spectacle.
Not
than
as
like
dramatic,
Antonio
yeah.
Brown taking off his shirt and then hyping up the crowd.
Also, again, I think that on this one, if you have voices in your head, you should park your car. And that goes for just a regular citizen.
I always wonder.
Don't drive with voices in your brain.
The voices in their head, does it sound like them or a different person?
Different.
So it sounds like a different person, and they are.
Do you get to choose the voice?
Well, your
I
brain
think,
is.
I think it just comes to you.
Park this car.
Well, technically, your brain is doing it, so I
Yes.
guess you are choosing it, but maybe not consciously.
It's like Waze. You can choose like Mr. T.
Fraggle Rock.
Yeah, Fraggles.
I want an old British lady.
Hello.
They have that. They have that.
Please park your car.
This will probably be the last one. Mike Wallace. Back in his day with the Miami Dolphins, wide receiver Mike Wallace had a tendency to get upset about his lack of playing time. In the worst instance, after not receiving a pass in the first half of a 2014 game against the New York Jets, Wallace walked off the field with 2:49 left in the second quarter and told the coach that he no longer wanted to play in the game. That's it.
Okay.
He
so,
just didn't want to play anymore.
And it's funny because that's pre-social media. I never even knew about
Never
that.
knew about
Okay,
it.
and that was
Right.
a Dolphins. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I said he also refused to answer post-game press questions.
Never
electing
heard about
instead-
this.
He elected instead to have teammate Brandon Gibson stand in front of him and speak on his behalf.
Now, this is crazier than the
That
Antonio Brown
is,
thing a little bit.
I agree.
And I've never seen this. I would watch this.
yeah. Because pre-social media, it just gets lost in some sports center thing. No
Plus,
one sees
again,
it.
I'd like to reiterate that this is just a rando guy. This
And
is
look, this
not,
guy got traded to the Minnesota Vikings 3 months later, so Antonio Brown still has a shot.
That you like.
Damn,
I'm
Sam
surprised.
coming with the stats. She's like, yo, this is the precedent set.
Although Antonio Brown's got a few strikes against
a
him, so
lot
I
of
don't know.
shots,
Yeah.
like 5 to 9.
And
strikes.
he doesn't have a shot because no one knew with was it Wallace or
Yeah,
what-
Mike Wallace.
Mike Wallace, no, the audience didn't know it happened, or maybe only a few. So another team could play him, and nobody would know. With Antonio Brown, you can't do it because
Well,
everybody knows he quits. Everybody saw it.
It wasn't pre-social media because Ghost of Manute Bull in our Twitch chat room, twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live. He said, well, this wasn't quite pre-social media. And I agree, it wasn't.
What
but
year?
I don't, 2014.
2014.
But I don't think that there was as much emphasis on it. I don't think that we got news from it as much. I really feel that way.
Dude,
I
there's
think
a
that
big
we're
difference. 7 year or whatever. Now it's 8 years ago.
we're not even aware of how much it's ramped up. Like, if you could go back and sit in 2014 and feel what social media felt like, it wouldn't be like this.
It was new. It was newer.
Newer.
Yeah, and it still wasn't. It hadn't. I guess infiltrated everything. Right. It's infiltrated everything we do. Every media we have.
I mean,
Everybody has a
some people have
smartphone.
switched to it. Like, I mean,
Dude, how many people in 2014 had smartphones? Way less, right?
Way less than now.
Yeah. No, I mean now. Yeah, that's what I mean. I mean,
of course, everyone has a smartphone now.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like now it's nearly GD 100% of everybody our age has a smartphone, right? My mom,
Yes.
everybody's parents, maybe your grandparents don't have one because they're, they can't use it,
And
but a lot of people's
incremental-
grandparents have them.
incremental ease, right? Everything's gotten better, a little bit incremental, but everything's gotten faster. Everything's gotten better. Well, if you take, I guess, close to 10 years of that and you start to stack that and add it up, I think that would be you'd have to do that to get a perfect representation of how much more ramped up it is.
So I was talking to Daniel about this because we were having a conversation. We were doing some math thing, and I was like, how do you do that? And whatever. And Daniel just looked it up on Google, and he's like, oh, here's the answer.
Oh,
and
well, somebody had written a
you can
program
cheat
for
crazy,
it.
yeah.
Somebody wrote a program. It's like, if you wanted
What's
to
the
know
percentage
like,
of-
the percentage of like a sodium in this like Gatorade type drink I have, and they're like, oh, just plug it into the sodium thing that the guy wrote that's on the website.
Right.
So I should be teaching my sons, and that's what I was telling Daniel. Is like the problem is like there's so much bad on the internet. I
What
don't,
you're
I
about
don't want
to-
to be curious and to look at the bad, but I want to teach them how to navigate and find the answers now because
gun
that's
safety,
the way
right?
everybody
Yeah,
will.
but you can't even do that. So I would send them to
Well-
the Orange County Library System, ocls.info,
Yeah,
and they
they're
have
good.
classes where they teach you how to use the internet.
I could teach
You could
myself.
probably benefit from that class as well.
I know how to use the internet. Like
For Pornhub.
Yeah, exactly.
to find like I just want to show them the like, hey,
It's gun safety, right? The internet is a tool. A gun is a tool. It's
Yeah.
no different than just teaching them how to be responsible with a tool.
Yeah, I can't trust them to be curious to look up,
No,
the
I can't.
horrible things.
No,
you
no
know what I'm
way.
saying? So
No way.
I'm afraid to start teaching them how to navigate the internet because I'm afraid their curiosity will lead them to stuff that will take their innocence. So, but navigating the internet, you'll find every answer you're looking for. Every single thing is on the internet, and I want them. That's how every human is going to find it and is finding information.
Yes.
And there's almost no need to know the algorithms, know the math yourself, like, because it's all there. Why memorize history? It's all there. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
what do I even? There's some things you,
You can
need to know.
benefit
But,
from understanding the process, but you don't have to.
yeah.
You know?
I think but all information is in your hand, and you should just learn how to navigate to find it, and that's what we need to be teaching the youth now, right?
I think that you're correct, and I love it when you call them the youth.
But you know what I'm saying? It's like, why even retain any of this information?
Well, some
when it's all
the
there.
basics, but like we always complained as kids about like I never used any of the math I was taught, right? I mean, I complained about that, and I'm 45, born in 76.
Unless you're an engineer or some, actuary or something.
So
we
like
need to-
even kids now, I mean, if you just taught them the basics of what they need to know, and then at some point you just said, and everything else, you'll just look it up. I mean,
well, that's the reality. Why? And it's like,
you do a little bit of addition, you do a little bit of subtraction, you get those basics down, you do multiplication and division, you work through fractions, you do some decimals,
well, it's like they used to
percentages.
We used to be taught to like memorize the presidents of the United States or
Well, that I
memorize
still stand
the
behind.
Right.
capitals. But what
You need that.
why?
all
But
that.
why?
Small talk when you're storming the Capitol.
I mean,
They couldn't name all the presidents.
if I need,
I can't name all the. Nobody can. It's
No.
hard. Actually, my daughter might. I think they're doing that.
if
Are they?
anybody needs,
I like that stuff. I don't know. Maybe it's nostalgia, but I like all that stuff.
If anybody needs to know who the 17th president, you just look on your
I
phone.
have no idea.
It's
Anybody 17?
Nope.
well, why would you? No one needs to know. It's just look it up in 1 second on Google. Like, it's an extension of our brains now, and that's the whole point of like Elon Musk's
Andrew
trip.
Johnson.
And
I should have known that.
Andrew Johnson.
but it's like that's what the future will be. It's just our phone will
So
be
you're
in our
pro
brain.
metaverse.
Right?
So you're ready.
I'm not. I'm just saying it's the logical evolution of where we're going, right?
Yeah, I think you're right.
Because now we all have a phone. Now we just have to look at it.
look, I
Well, you also have to make sure that you're reading the correct information, right? Because there's a ton of bad information out there too that is lies.
well, that's
look-
what people need to learn
Yeah.
how to find the correct
Exactly.
one.
Well, I think
It's
that's what
hard,
he's saying
man.
is that you need to be. It's almost like when I used
A
to
way
do
to navigate,
like the
yeah.
way my mom, because she was an educator and a librarian, the way she taught me to do a book report was so old school. And I know nobody else did it like this, but for me, like if I was doing a report on something, it would be like, well, you at least need 3 sources, and you need to cite them, and they can't all be the same. It can't be 3 different encyclopedias. You have to do like one encyclopedia, and then you have to do like one like journal or a published
Article,
paper,
yeah,
article,
yeah.
and then and I had to do that, and then you got to have all your paper trail, you have all your footnotes at the bottom of it, and all that kind of stuff. And I mean, I'm glad I know the process of that.
that was
because,
like mandatory when we used to do reports.
But I think that has taught me when I navigate the internet. I think I navigate it still with that
Yeah,
in the back of my
probably.
mind. I'm like, I need 3 sources.
Let me
Let's
make
check
sure-
this.
yeah.
But I don't know if kids do that now. Do you think they do?
Well,
No.
what they do, and like it's like what I do when I want to find out if something's false, right? You search the question, and then you look at the top stuff and see. You kind of get
You look at like the first 12
yeah,
things.
you get an idea, and then if a bunch of them say like fake, you know what I'm saying? You're like, oh, okay, that's about, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You'll make split, like quick decisions whether something's real or not based on how, like, and it's not really, there's no process. It's just like, all right, the first 10 stories, like 5 of them say fake at a big thing. I'm just going to go and assume that this is,
Yeah.
like fake.
Yeah,
or
that's-
like,
I think a lot of people do it like this.
you know,
yeah.
and then it's close enough because most of the stuff you're looking at doesn't really matter. Then if you get further into it, like super ingrained conspiracy theories and ideas, that's almost lost because those people are just looking up confirmation to what they already believe, and that's out there. See what I'm saying?
Right, and
they're
also
they're not on the
confirmation-
search for truth. They're on the search to confirm what they believe is
Yes,
true.
They want that confirmation.
And that's
by a
different.
sweet. Even if
And
it means
that's human beings' brains.
And at some points, it's not even that they have something they need confirming. They just need to unconfirm what you're believing.
yes, yeah, and
So-
then you pick and choose the information, but because there's
But I think
plenty-
you're right. To get back to the main question, I think that it would be very responsible for you as a parent to teach your sons, like my example of, like, it's kind of a bad example, but sort of true. Like it can be dangerous, right? Just like a gun. So if you teach them necessarily steps on how to search things, where to go, where are the places you should go, where are the places you shouldn't go, how dangerous other people can be on there, how people can lie on there.
Yeah. And they don't even have a concept yet of everything is on the internet. Everything you could possibly think of, bad, good, indifferent, is on there. And I'm scared to show them that that's the reality. Because I'm afraid the curiosity will
of
take
course.
over and lead them to look up
Think
horrible.
about when you were a kid.
I know.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I have a
And that was
friend-
before adults even understood. Like, my mom didn't even know what the hell was going on.
Well, how
like,
are
with
you
the
going to
internet.
feel, and what are you going to do? Try to answer me seriously. I have a friend that went on her, let's say, her son's computer and was kind of looking at the top. It's
Looking
not
at
as
the
bad.
history?
No, it's not as bad as you think. It's
Okay,
not as bad as you
okay.
think, and because he's little, but not that little, right? And he had searched. Wait for it. You ready? He had searched bikini girls.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. That's it.
Kind of harmless, but I understand where you're
He's,
road
he's
you're-
going down that road.
I know what road
yeah.
you're driving down, and I'm
Yeah.
glad you chose bikini girls. That's respectful enough. Look, I know what you're into.
Yeah.
So what do? You're the dad.
Well, I know that's happening. The problem is there's a
Well, he takes him to Baywatch or whatever. so
Nah, close down.
yeah.
It's all young black men now that.
It's-
Oh,
own
I
it.
might go over there and get my car washed.
It's like D'Angelo. Like
Well,
yeah.
everybody's like a good-looking D'Angelo man.
Well, you just at that point they already know, but at that point he already knows the internet will show him bikini girls, and that is going to lead him to, like, they'll show me everything. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
but my sons don't even know that yet, and I'm afraid to even get into it because that's coming, and I understand that's coming, but not now, not when they're 6 and
Would
7.
you prefer
But
to
it's
show
like when they're
them-
10 and 11, there's no way to stop it.
Tell me if I'm wrong in hearing in your voice that you would prefer to show them versus them going to a friend's house and having the friend show them.
Show them what? The bikini girls?
No,
Or
no,
just
no.
the internet
Just
in
the
general?
concept of the internet.
concept of I have unlimited everything right here in my hand. Because it's almost like smoking weed with your kids or having a beer with your kids, right? It's like you want to be the one that introduces that, right?
I just want to tell them what it means and tell them, like, I don't want you to search these adult things because
but if you give me a
can't
list of
unsee.
things not to search for,
I know,
I'm
that's
gonna
what
search
that-
for them.
Yeah.
That's why. And then it's like, okay, you can put parental controls, but that's fine. But the internet is everywhere. Like, eventually they'll get on.
They'll see it somewhere.
They'll get on, their cousin's iPhone that doesn't have, something like
Right,
that. And
right,
it's like,
right.
and one easy search. So I don't know. It's just, I guess, the reality of what every parent has to, and it's inevitable they're going to see it.
Yep.
So I'm just hoping they have the right frame of mind. Like, when I was a teenager, like, we searched,
The worst.
I mean, like, horse
Faces of
porn.
death, yeah.
The worst possible thing.
Tom's right. The first thing you did when you're in art,
I bet girls have sex with horses. They're like,
Yeah.
oh my
That's what
God,
you
they
do.
do.
That's what you
And
do.
it's shocking and
I wish I never saw that, yeah.
like, oh no. Like,
traumatize yourself.
Like, you shouldn't be doing that. Who is this lady?
Help her.
Yeah. This before I understood mental illness and it's you see horrible things like
Yes.
I wish I was a horse.
I did think that. But
That is exactly what you go for as a kid, too. There used to be a website. See if it's still around, because I want this on your computer, not mine.
Okay.
Sam. Rotten.com. Remember?
Oh, yeah. I totally remember.
Then you find out
Rotten.com.
about that. And
Yeah,
then
you go to
look-
rotten.com. Next thing you know, you're looking at people getting their heads chopped off.
But maybe, does that stuff it doesn't ruin you, but it does like
It leaves a mark.
It changes the way you feel. I can remember one time.
It takes your innocence.
The first
right?
time I saw something that like changed me, and I can remember I walked outside and the sun was different. You know, I was just like, oh my God. Like everything looked different.
You want to try to shield your kids from that.
And
as
if
long
we're
as
going
possible.
on the Tom and Dan porn theory, right?
What is the Tom and Dan porn theory?
That the first thing you're exposed to or you see is kind of what you're into later in life. Well, now with the internet, that could be anything. If you're searching the worst stuff and the first thing you come up with
Wait a minute,
is
that's
like
not-
bestiality, that might be your thing.
No,
then
that's not.
growing up.
Whose theory is that? Is that your theory? I don't know.
Well,
theory.
that is a thing that a psychologist.
You guys have definitely said that before.
Not
Well,
me.
no,
It doesn't look like Run.com's working.
it's like the porn, your dad's porno you get a hold of,
Right.
and then you tend to have like a
fetish
an
or a
affinity
kink.
to 70s porn because
Yeah.
that's the first time
I like
porn
mustache.
Yeah, bushes.
Yeah.
But so you're right. It's like then could they screw themselves up by looking at or like could they change what they're into because they saw
No,
something
I think
too
you're
early?
into what you're into. I don't think you see a horse when you're young and you're like, God.
Well, not the
I
horse, but I'm saying like the.
Well, how do people get into it?
Well, I guess
They were born that way?
No, well, I don't know. I don't know what I guess you're into things that maybe you were exposed
You're into
to,
tunes.
or
I think if you're into horses, you're not stable. Thank you.
And bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
yeah. So anyway,
Oh.
it's difficult, and I don't know.
gonna be rough, buddy.
Yeah. Hopefully, like Tommy follows the rules. Max, I
He
don't
does.
worry about that.
No, we talked about this. I think that Tommy's influence on Max is going to carry over. You're just fine.
Like if I told Tommy don't ever search this stuff, he'll follow the rules.
But he casts
of
a pretty big shadow. Like you can see how much Max looks up to his brother. You can see it. So I think you're good.
it. But Max will, he will look. Yeah, he'll search. Like he won't
What
just
if
listen to
doesn't-
Tommy.
And you think Tommy will see him looking and it'll break him apart? He'll be like,
You looked. I guess it's inevitably going to happen. It's fine. I'm going to tell him, like, whatever. If you see it, don't have a conversation with me about it because it's too awkward.
but then they're going to
Jesus,
tell your
man.
wife, and that's going to be worse. Then she's going to chop their hands off.
No, they know not to talk
If
to
you
her.
see something, don't talk to me about it.
Well,
You're the person they're supposed to go to talk
yeah,
about
but what do you want
He's
to talk about?
right.
Be like, I saw it too, son.
I saw the horse, Dad.
and I've tried to forget about it.
But I'm into it.
Well,
We're
then you're
role-playing
like,
now.
oh,
We're role-playing now.
no. Like, they're going to
So I
get
come
you.
to you and I'm like, I saw the horse. I like the horse. I like horses.
Oh, no.
I still. So what do you do?
Watch Yellowstone.
Ignore your kids and watch it. That's what my dad. He ignored me and watched M.A.S.H. And I've been traumatized since day. I can't hear that theme song.
M.A.S.H stinks.
It does stink.
I'm in my room
M.A.S.H is
watching,
the worst.
watching a horse porn. My dad's out watching Yellowstone.
Ooh, weird connection there.
I know it really is.
People were like people were into M.A.S.H. I'll argue that it stinks.
It's
Yeah.
It's not
it's
even
terrible.
good. There's no. I've never even seen like Cheers. Like when I was making fun of Daniel.
Oh,
like,
Cheers is funny.
There's been some funny episodes of Cheers that I've seen.
MASH
but
is the absolute no. There's nothing funny about that.
yeah, and it's not even entertaining. It's not even like war scenes.
The first
really.
thing they do is like, oh, let's do it in war because there's nothing funnier than war.
Yeah, because they don't even have any war scenes, right? There's not even shooting.
well, in the beginning, like,
Yeah.
not with the characters so much, because it's
They're
like a,
taking care of the injured.
it's a sitcom, because so
No, I know,
the
I
tent
know.
is the tent is the set, but yeah, they'd show like the helicopters in the beginning, and then a couple of little
but it's all
jungle.
stock
They'd
footage of
establish it, look at
Vietnam.
jungle. And there's a guy, look, he's got
Yeah.
the
But I'm
face
saying,
paint.
but you don't even get the advantage of like watching some war
There's no
battles.
action scenes,
There's
no.
action, so all there is
No,
is
you got one guy
sitcom.
dressed like a woman. You got what's his name?
yeah.
The guy dressed like a woman.
I don't remember. I blocked it out. I'm
not
telling
even
you guys, I blocked this stuff
It's
out
like
because it's
Murdoch
triggering
or,
to me.
Like, I had some goofy day. He's like I got my leg blown off in combat. They put me on the table. Then they got some cross-dressing guy like working on my legs.
M.A.S.H stinks.
It's not funny.
no, yeah. Like I want to talk to someone trying to defend M.A.S.H.
Klinger. That's who you're thinking
Clinger.
of.
I
Yes.
watched it with my parents, and my parents seemingly watched it only because everyone else was watching it. I didn't hear my dad laugh one time. I think my dad I think my dad sat through M.A.S.H because my mom was a hipster, right?
It was the
and
only
it
thing
was
on.
hip. No,
Yeah.
it was hip
Yeah.
to be into. Oh, did you watch M.A.S.H? And I think my mom's like, "Oh my God, we watched M.A.S.H." I think my dad it was garbage.
Highest rated season finale
But
in
it's-
history.
but
That's
not good.
insanity.
Nothing
Because
about
there
it was good.
There was 12 channels
Right,
on,
right.
so that was it.
Is
yeah.
there anybody? I think Chigardi in the Twitch chat room,
He loved
twitch.tv/Tom
it.
and Live. He said he loved M.A.S.H. I don't believe you.
It's not good. It's not good.
It's not.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
anybody that got an award, the Emmys or Oscar, or it'd be Emmys, right? The Emmys, they don't deserve any of them. The writing is horrible. Nobody was funny. Anybody that worked on that show, not good. It's just bad. The whole thing's bad.
Yeah,
The song, even that song, "Suicide is Painless," it's a dumb
hate
song.
it so much.
Suicide is
And
not
I
painless.
I want to commit suicide listening to
For
that
1
song.
second, it is horribly painful. My God, it's bad. You can't hear me scream as my brain is exiting the tent.
yeah. There's a little pain involved.
How did it get so popular?
I don't.
It was the only thing on.
Yeah,
I'm telling you,
that's
it was the
got
only
it.
goddamn thing on.
I'm gonna hear you ready for my hot take. Where are we on a Friday? Are we on a Friday?
Yes, we are.
I'm gonna give us a hot take. Ridiculousness is better than M.A.S.H. Ridiculousness
Yeah.
is better.
I'm on board.
I'm going to say it again. Ridiculousness is a better television show than M.A.S.H. It is.
Oh yeah.
If you put 100,000 people in an auditorium and you play them an episode of M.A.S.H. and 100,000 people in an auditorium and play them an episode, an older one, where Chanel West Coast laughs horribly,
and give him a meter.
and I guarantee you ridiculousness will double, maybe even triple the amount of entertainment and pure joy that the people are experiencing at the time.
You're right. Yeah.
It is science. We should do that test.
Yeah. Mark that down for the first hot take of 2022.
Who's the brain behind M.A.S.H, right? It's somebody. Is it like Rob Reiner or Norman Lear? Right? It's like one of those guys. It's one of the old guys.
Some old
Alan Alda.
Alan Alda, right?
Yeah.
He was in the show. Alan Alda is kind of a national treasure, so I support him, and he's super talented. But the show really sucks.
yeah.
Not good.
Yeah. Ridiculousness is better than M.A.S.H.
It is. We figured it out.
All right. Bye.